Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. I should turn my phone off, shouldn't I, before we get this thing rolling? Welcome to the show, as always. CAF update number 98. Two more updates until many of us will be hanging out together at the 40th annual Heroes Convention. Looking forward to that. Of course, we'll talk a bit more about that in a little bit. But welcome to the show, everybody. Good to see everybody always in the chat before we get started. I love the fact that you guys are always hanging out and conversing before the show even gets going. But welcome, everyone. Nick, Ruben, I'm not going to go through the list tonight, right? Tyler T, Mr. Easy Go Lucky, you're always here. And man, yeah, I'm not even going to go through the list. But welcome to the show. So it's one of those nights again. I don't feel like I have a lot to talk about, but I'm sure it's going to go 2 hours like it always does, at least 2 hours. But it's not going to be a 3-hour affair tonight. But a lot of different things to cover. I've got a big, busy weekend, of course. I've got the Howard Chaykin Show and art sale on Saturday, and then the Joe Linsner art sale and chat on Sunday. Then I've got an amateur show with James and Khalil on Monday. So I've got tomorrow off. I'm going to be doing several different things, and then actually going out to see the Guardians play in Cleveland tomorrow night. So I'll have a night off from work before the busy weekend. So, but outside of all that, just trying to prep for things. I did discover today that I will actually be going to San Diego Comic-Con for not for the whole show. I'm going to get there on Thursday afternoon, and I'll take a red eye out on Saturday. So for those of you going to San Diego, I will get to hang out with many of you at the show. I'm looking forward to it. I really kind of had taken it off the radar with the move, but I talked with Maureen about it, and just been getting asked by a lot of people to go. So I decided it was worth the effort to get out there just for part of the show. So I'm looking forward to that. So anybody who wants to meet up, I'm sure I'll probably give a little bit of a where I'll be kind of thing. I know I've got my nights are probably going to be pretty busy, but during the show, I told Anthony I'd be over at his booth a little bit, and I'm sure I'll be with Mark Hay for a little bit, and Mike and everybody else. So right. See, Nick. Yep. You missed me at MegaCon, Heroes, and San Diego, but we'll work that out. You got to be at New York Comic Con, so maybe I'm not going to promise I'm going to be there, but I will give it a try. So I was going to hold all that back till the schedule section and stuff, but there you have it. So I'm excited to be going to San Diego. I haven't been there. I didn't go probably for 3 years before the pandemic hit. So I had 5 years off. So it's been a long time. Yes, the big dance, says Chris Snork. I completely agree. So let's see, what do we got here? So I'll tell you what. Why don't we do the mailbag first, because the mailbag. Well, all right. We could talk about the show that happened last night, Rick, with the cake break at the end. I don't know. There wasn't a very great show last night, and it's nobody's fault. Hey, I didn't want to do it. I was taking the night off, but Anthony was really adamant about having the show. So he had fun. He said he had fun. He texted me he had fun, but yeah, I know it didn't go over. But it was just like, because remember the last time we had the convergence of auctions. It was right before St. Patrick's Day, and it was the show before St. Patrick's Day, and we probably only had like 6,000 in sales for that show. It was abysmal, but it was wrapped around Comic Link, Comic Connect, Heritage, and something else. I can't even remember what it was, but so I knew going into it that we should just have the night off, and I did beg Anthony not to do it. I didn't want to do it, but he wanted to do it anyway. So live and learn, but I won't let him do it again. So let's put it that way. When we take the night off, we all take the night off. If he wants to do his own kind of show, streams, whatever, he does have his own channel and whatnot to do it on. So but at the end of the day, hey, I love Sharon and Anthony, so I wanted to give them time. So Jason says, Ohio. Whatever. I don't know what you're trying to say there. M.I. in Ohio. Oh, and Hakes too. Yes, that's right, Dino. Because that was a terrible one. I mean, I got a couple emails from people after that show, and different comments and everything, but it was just a terrible time. So when there's 3 things up against us, and you have to remember that was the same night as the you got Comic Link, you got the Heritage Weekly auction too on our night already. So it's just a mess. So when you have 2 other events anywhere within 2 or 3 days of the Wednesday night show, we should never do a Dueling Dealers episode. It's just not worth it unless we're really we're really just going in there with low ball stuff and knowing that it's going to be a poor sale night. But ML in Ohio, I might see Bill in 4 states this year. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that too, because that's on the schedule. And I did forget to talk about the Billy Ireland trip along with the Marvel exhibit last week, but I have some information on that when we get to that part of the show. So let's do the mailbag, because I've got a few things here to go through. First up, wow, that's loud. First up, I've got 2 packages from Michael Finn. Michael sent me an email yesterday. He let me know that his artwork that I packed up on when did I do that? Over the weekend, and I shipped on Monday, arrived, the Jiggy artwork. So I hope that many of you have been getting, who picked those up that I packaged, have been getting those, because I would think most people probably should have them by now. I should have got them on Thursday. I got them over to the post office on Monday, I think just before they closed. So, but there was a guy waiting to take stuff to the truck. So he did. So, all right. So this is Michael Finn. Obviously, we had a great sales show with Michael Finn the Monday before last. And he said he was going to send me a few things. So look at that. I have that exclusive shirt that he was talking about. I love the colors on that one. So I'm going to wear that one proudly. Thank you, Michael. Get this over there. And that's from the Liberty Brigade, of course. And I've got a couple books from the Liberty Brigade as well. Thank you, Michael. And another one from Michael. Let's see what we got in here. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Maureen and the girls are still down in Florida. I won't see them until the end of the month. My son, he's moving into an apartment. So I spent the other day helping him move a bunch of stuff over there. And but now he's down in Cincinnati for the weekend doing some other things. So this is another copy of the Liberty Brigade, a interesting kind of like stamped cover, kind of cool. Oh, and Liberty for All. Bill, thank you for your support, from Michael Finn. Thank you, Michael. Now, this is awesome. I need some reading material. I did finish my Excalibur book from Tatiana finally. So it was actually really good. And I actually can say something about Excalibur in a little bit too. But let's see here. This is something I think I bought today, and it actually arrived today. I think Marcus will be happy that I picked one up, because once I test it out, I'm going to make Anthony buy one. And yes, a gimbal for my iPhone. I figure going to Heroes and going to San Diego with all the interviews I want to do and some of the walkthroughs and stuff that I want to do, having a gimbal for the iPhone was a wise thing to do. I actually bought one over the weekend, and when it arrived, it just never worked right. It was from a different company. So I sent it back and picked this one up, which was about twice as expensive, but all the reviews were better on it. So we'll see how that works out. But I'm going to actually test it out tomorrow, because I asked Mike if he would do a CAF cribs video with me so I could test the gimbal out at his place, and he said he would. So I'm going to be going over to his place tomorrow afternoon and shooting that. Yes, I will shake it, Marcus. But I'm glad you brought it up, Marcus, or I never even thought that they would make gimbals for iPhones. But shoot, this one's it even has kind of essentially like a selfie stick where you can extend it. So when you're in a crowd or whatever, you can put it above the crowd. So definitely when I'm at San Diego, I'm gonna mess around a lot with that and see what I can come up with there. This one, I know what this one is. I bought this one just because of Jason D'Ambrosio. And last week when he was giving me Raz, he was talking about, remember when I couldn't identify some DC characters, and I mistakenly said he was trying to help me when he, in fact, was really trolling me. So I bought myself a Thundercat shirt. So I will wear that at Heroes. I don't know what day, but it's all in honor of Mr. Jason D. And I never watched Thundercats either, so I wouldn't have known the names. So there you go. Bill's shaking it up in the comic art industry. Yeah. All right. So two packages here. One from that have art in them. One was from the one I've had the longest is from Anthony, and I really don't remember what I asked for, but I picked some artwork up from him as part of my Dueling dealer trade. And I got this, actually, I think this came in on Friday. So I don't really remember what I asked for. I think I know what one of the pieces was. It's got a portfolio, of course, like it should. And I actually had, I was debating, there were a couple pieces Anthony had on Dueling Dealers over the last month that he didn't sell on Dueling Dealers, and then he didn't sell on his website, that I always actually enjoyed both of the pages. So I asked him for them as well on Monday, but they did not arrive yet. So you'll have to wait till next week to see what those pages were. Anthony. All right, so I'll take him out of the Mylar. There you go. A nice David Peterson mouse guard piece. I'm always been a fan of David's work, and you know, I've only have one published page from him for mouse guard, but I saw this one, liked it, and picked it up from Mr. Snyder. And then, in honor, I guess, of my show on Sunday with Mr. Linsner, saw this on his site for a little while, and I finally decided to get it. Isn't that beautiful? I love Joe's work. He can do no wrong, ever, and that's just beautiful. So I haven't had. I think I had about 2 pieces from Linsner in my collecting career, and ended up selling them both, of course, when I built the miniature golf course. And so I've been wanting to get another something from him, and that one was an easy one for me. And then let's see, what did Anthony stuff in here? A couple of Evil Dead comics as well. And yes, Jeff, thank you. It is a great Medusa. I was very, very happy when I saw it, and I think I looked at it for a couple of days. It was one of those pieces you look at on the dealer site and you think, that would be nice to have in my collection. And you know, Anthony, I don't get as much in trade with Anthony. He typically pays me more than I get art from him. But I saw that one, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. The price was right, very fair. So here's Mark's, and Mark always ships in Masonite. That's his thing. He's done it since the first time I bought art from him, probably in 1999. So he's a stickler for only shipping in Masonite. And speaking of Masonite, I actually recorded, and I'll show you. I did another one of my, take 10 minutes of video and compress it into 2. But this was more like an hour of video compressed into 2 minutes, where I filmed myself wrapping all those darn packages for Jiggy's art. But the good thing was I actually started out that whole segment with kind of doing a review of how I was going to package the art using Mikhail's wonderful tutorials. Really, he needs to do one for me. But so what I'm going to do is I'll show you guys like the quick 2-minute one, and then what I'm going to do over the weekend is post a longer version where it actually has the intro with me talking about how I'm packaging the art, and I'll put it up there as essentially as a tutorial that I know that we will one day replace with a proper one from ML. All right, now this one, I forgot about this. This one has a little bit of naughty bits in it, and the funny thing on this one is that I'm not as attached to it anymore, because I did time payments on this one with Mark, just because I'm not rich. And everybody knows I picked up that Spider Woman by Lealoa, and I'd been talking about wanting to get a piece by Lealoa, and lo and behold, Mark texted me over a month ago, and he's like, Bill, I just got this artwork in, and I don't know what the value is on it. So I tried to offer. I tried suggesting it was a little lower than I thought it was worth, but he wised up and got a fair price for it. It's actually bigger than I thought it was. So yeah, it's a con sketch from Lealoa from 1977. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, I'll show it to you. But it does, if you're offended by semi-nude Gamora, then you're probably not going to want to look at this. But it is very, very well done. There, it's still. I'm not going to take it out of the bag. But I don't know where he got it. He picked up a collection from somebody. But now I'm the proud owner of this piece. But again, I got my Spider Woman piece, so I'm not sure. This is we hear guys kind of set things aside in their collection and say, this is one that will probably be one of the pieces that I'd be willing to let go one day. But very nice. Again, I was thrilled to see it. It was like, wow, 2 weeks after I said I wanted a piece of Lealoa art, Mark Hay is texting me asking me what the value is, and yeah, it was awesome. Very, very nice piece. Closer, please, says Brad. All right, I'll show you every one more time. It is really well done. And it's funny. Warlock isn't, well, I guess the detail on the costumes are different, but it seems like he definitely put a little bit more attention into the female figure rather than the male, I'd say. But very well done. And again, just how ironic that I would ask for something or say that I'm looking for something, and then to have Mark text me exactly what I was looking for. So it's how it goes some days, right? But yes, I appreciate. I'm glad everybody likes the art day pickups. Those were good. I had a good time with that, and I could say I did. I went to Mike's house last night and was doing bin dives. I actually spent probably, I don't know, almost 3 hours, probably the whole Comic Link auction, working on the area behind Mike. Where all that stacked art is. And it was funny. I spent more time there than the last time, and I found less great stuff. Anyway, I did set aside a couple pieces that I didn't take home, but I can tell you what they are. One was a Rick Leonardi Uncanny X-Men page, I think from 237. Nothing super special, but inked by Terry Austin. Had Wolverine and Rogue on it in like a bar scene where they were picking pockets or something, but it was okay, okay. But how often are you going to find a Leonardi Uncanny X-Men page? So I picked that up. I did set aside a Sean Murphy Joe the Barbarian page that I saw, because I'm Mike probably doesn't really know what the value is on that, but I assume it's got to be a fair amount less than his current stuff. So I figure I can get that. Shut up, jealous. You're going to be more jealous than that, Jason, is I did actually find an Excalibur page by Alan Davis that I didn't send you a picture of. And I have set it aside, at least for the moment, for myself. So, yeah. But more on that, but Jason, we could talk more about that another time. I should have taken a picture of it. It was, I don't remember what issue it was from, because I actually had to look it up, and then I kind of read the story on my phone so I could see exactly what was going on there. But it was something that he actually mentioned he had picked up from Gary Land. So Leonardi and Austin go together like Starsky and Hutch, says Rick Welch. Yes, that is very, very true. Let's see. Rich says, is this the January 6th committee investigating why I'll never afford a rights and original? I don't know, Rich. It's funny. As I go through the bins, I start setting aside pieces that I think would be good for the Dueling Dealers show, or I think that hey, Mike has forgotten about. And there was it was funny. It was a Bernie Wrightson Aquaman cover of all things, and so like I set it aside, and an hour later I show him all the stuff that I kind of set off to the side for him, and let's see. So the sorry, I'm just reading the comments, but I show it to him, and he's like, "Oh my God, I thought I lost that." And once again, he thought he lost it. He's like, which pile was it in? And I point to it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, there was a guy that was looking for this 3 years ago. I couldn't find it." He goes, I can't tell him I have it. I found it now because it's worth like 4 or 5 times when the guy was looking for it, or had found, or had wanted it. So if you're out there, whoever you are, I apologize, but I found the Aquaman Bernie Wrightson cover that Mike couldn't find three years ago. So it was, but it was actually really nice. I was surprised. For a Wrightson DC cover, it was pretty decent. I wasn't really expecting. I didn't even realize it was Wrightson initially until I looked really closely at the inking on it. And Ruben says Wolverine and Rogue, Uncanny by Leonardi is nothing special. Well, it wasn't like a battle scene. It was a bar brawl. But it wasn't, Wolverine and Rogue weren't doing any of the fighting while the brawl was going on. It was like they were picking people's pockets or something like that. So, you look it up in issue 237. It's okay. It's a good page. For me, it's a good representative page. I will never find another, but I didn't find any more Silvestri. I didn't find, any Romita Jr. There was a very interesting packet of X-Men prelims that was again, I don't know who they were by. I didn't even bother to ask Mike because he was too busy on the phone while he was doing his Comic Link bidding. But next time I go over there, I'm going to ask him about, what exactly was this set from? I know, Ruben. I get it. I get it. I'm happy. I set it aside. It's going to be mine. I just didn't bring it home. I'll see. Yeah, Jason must have looked it up. It's a great page. All right, guys. I guess I look at art so much that it's all starting to blur a little bit for me. But any Cosmic Odyssey? Yes, Brett. There was actually a Cosmic Odyssey page that I discovered in one of the piles, and it had Superman, Darkseid, and Starfire. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, it was actually a better page. If it was on Dueling Dealers, Mike would probably price it at like $3,500. It was probably one of the better pages that either of them have probably ever had. I didn't even set it aside. I left it in the stack, figuring it'll ferment for another few years over there. But Nick says 82 watching, 40 likes. We need to get more likes on there. Everybody, hit the thumbs up and share the show. It's always a good thing. Let people know we're hanging out. Let's see, what do we got there? Coming soon to Dealing Dealers. Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I left it in the pile, and he probably won't see it again for a little while. Red Bullet Comics says, I'd love to see Mike or Anthony do a Cribs episode. Well, Mike is going to do a Cribs episode. I'm going to film it with him tomorrow. But he's like, I don't want you to film in my office because his office is a disaster. It's like a tornado has gone through it. So it's not the best space to film from, but we'll film from places that are more presentable in his place. Let's see. Gil said, you stated that you didn't find any more Silvestri pages. What pages have I found? Well, from Uncanny, I mean, there wasn't, there was it wasn't from Uncanny. There was a Garney DPS. I actually sent a picture of that to Jason. I didn't have a price on it. There was a filler issue from Uncanny from like issue 260. Mike Collins. I'm looking at it and I thought, it was actually an okay page, but I'm just thinking, I don't even know who Mike Collins is, to be honest. I hate to say it, and I might be wrong about that name, but I'm sure Jason's looking it up right now. But there was that. Again, it's a blur when you're looking through the stacks because there's nothing in order, right? I'm going through DC stuff, then coming into just oddball stuff. I mean, like I found an FF John Buscema page in the middle of a bunch of DC art. So, I probably found 12 different Buscema pages, whether they were FF, Thor. There was an event. Well, there were a couple of Avengers. I mean, but that's the kind of stuff he has that aren't really, that aren't on his radar. Am I planning on a Comic Link recap show? I thought about it. Maybe. I mean, it's just hard to get Comic Link's recaps in there, and it's not their fault. It's more mine because of just the way my schedule is. I'd have to almost do one on an off day, and then so Nick's saying it could have been 266. It could have been 266, but I don't think it was 266. It was more like I think it was. Could it have been 260? I don't know, but I know where the page was. Mike doesn't, but I do, so I could dig that one back up and look. But I don't believe it was 266. But what else did I find? I don't know. If I should be taking notes while I'm there, just to have a better idea, because again, I'd say 65% of the artwork is DC art, and and that's probably stuff that he just sets on the back burner anyway. But there's just so much good stuff in there that's it's always surprising. Let's see where we at there. I'm trying to read. Page Wolverine on a bar with his claws, and James will never let that page go. All right, I think. But other than that, what did I see at Mike's? That's probably it. I mean, I didn't set anything else aside. There just wasn't in the stuff that I was looking at this time around. I just didn't find any like super expensive stuff. And Mike actually wanted me to. He was like, I want you to before you leave for Florida, I want you to have kind of a big tab, so I don't have to like think about like giving you art for a year. So he did 264 as well. So I feel like it was probably like 264. I can't even remember the characters on the page, but it probably had uh, 6 or 7 characters on it. So I'll have to I'll take a look at it, and I'll let you know what it was. I'm actually going over. Well, I told you I'm going over there tomorrow to film the Calf Cribs thing. So um, I'll try to dig a few pieces out, and I'll also take a look at those prelims, those X-Men prelims, because they were actually cover prelims, interiors and covers, which was really weird. But they were really, really loose. I mean, when I was looking at it, I'm thinking, I mean, I didn't even bother Googling to figure out which ones they were, but they were done on 8.5 by 11 stuff. Some of them actually had the logos printed, some were drawn. And there were at least like a dozen of them. So, but most of them were really, really, really loose. They looked like, and they looked like they would have been covers that were from the period between, say, issue 225 and 255. But I don't know because remember, I'm not as familiar with those book covers as I probably should be. Anyway, so there you have it. That was my bin dive. That's my bin dive report. I only set aside a few things. The Alan Davis Excalibur page was actually probably the coolest piece of all of them. Although I did like the Leonardi. I did like the Leonardi. Jason's reminding me that I can talk about the DC art I find, just not the X-Men. All right. Well, I thought they wanted to hear about the X-Men. So yeah. So Marcus said it's a Scrooge McDuck money bin dive. That is exactly what it feels like. So why don't we go over the schedule here, just because it is a very it's not a busy schedule anymore, but you know what's going on primarily. As I've mentioned, I am going to go to San Diego right now. Heroes is the big thing. 2 weeks from now, we'll be doing the 100th CAF update from the. I can pull up the thing here, right? Here we go. From the kickoff party at Heroes, and of course I'm a guest there. Rico Renzi's a guest. George Hodge from Jack the Radio, who's done all the heavy lifting to put this thing together, will be on stage sometime that evening, probably around the time the whole thing kicks off, right? Or meaning the CAF update kicks off. I imagine it's probably around 9. But so probably will not be much of a CAF update, but we'll just be enjoying our company as long as we can, until either I've had 2 or 3 beers, or the music gets too loud, or I can't find a quiet place. But it certainly won't be a normal CAF update. There's no way that I'll be able to do showing off artworks or and doing that sort of thing. So it will be a party. It'll be our 100th celebration episode of the CAF update, with that had such humble beginnings 2 years ago when I started doing them, and now they're like my favorite show of the week, of course. So that's next Thursday, June 23rd. Of course, Heroes is the 24th through the 26th. All the good things that'll be happening at the show, I'll be at for sure. I mean, we've got the what is that? We have the drink and draw on Friday night, the art auction on Saturday night, and there's some cabal gatherings and other things that I'll be a part of. So yes, that one I'm looking forward to a whole bunch, and the gimbal is going to be put to good use definitely during the kickoff party. Now I wanted to pull up this one because I put the slide in there last week and I forgot to show it. So what I'm going to do is I will create a Facebook event and start promoting it so that we can kind of figure out how many people want to go to this 2-day event in Columbus, Ohio. It's going to be on Friday, August 12th and Saturday, August 13th. So on the 12th, we will be going to the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library and Museum. And as I've probably already heard, I've spoken to them. They're willing to give us a behind-the-scenes tour. We may not all be together. They might just have to split us up based on the number of people that end up coming out. But the museum is actually free to attend, but of course I'd like everybody to consider some kind of a donation. I don't want to like stipulate what it should be, but everybody should put something in whatever donation thing that they've got set up there. I asked them if they had it, and they did say yes. So hopefully it's something like at most museums, right inside the door, we can put some cash in. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. They're going to set aside some art. I gave them a list of about 50 creators that I'd like to see artwork from, and and emphasize certain ones like Bill Watterson. Of course, I think all of us would love to see a few Sundays and whatnot. So they I let them know which artists we were most interested in. So that'll be on the 12th. And the thing is that the museum is only open till 5. So we'd probably go there around noon, or have lunch and then go there, an early lunch, and then probably spend four hours there at I would imagine, because they have a couple exhibits that are going to be there. There's a Charles Schultz exhibit that's currently there that will be there in August as well. And again, they just seem very accommodating. I don't think that they have like large groups come out too often, and they were kind of sounded very excited to have us. Then I did call COSI. I have been calling it Cozy forever, but it's COSI, and about the Marvel exhibit, because the admission, they kind of have a general admission to the overall COSI museum, and then a separate admission for the Marvel superheroes. And so, which was set, if you try to buy a ticket through their site, it's $45. So I figured I'm going to call them, just make sure that they're not going to do anything funny and like potentially close the show on a Saturday, and all that. So I wanted to talk to somebody. So I did talk to them on Tuesday and let them know that, I'm pretty confident there'll be at least 15, 20 people, could be a little more, because of all the collectors I know in the Columbus area. So they let me know that if I brought a group of 12 or more, that the price per admission would only be $23, counting so the general admission and the ticket into Marvel. So that's a deal. So I think what we might want to do is, maybe we'll figure it out how we're going to cover that. I don't know if it has to be on one bill or not. I guess I should probably call them back and confirm how to handle that. But at least we'll get a discount admission into the Marvel exhibit that day. I thought about getting a press pass, Marcus, but I let them know who I was, and they had never heard of me. So is that Kirby's Table? I think they want you to think it's Kirby's Table. I don't recall. I don't, I did. I don't believe I read the placard that was on that table. I did take that picture though. So, but at any rate, it's going to be a good time, and I will create a event on Facebook, so at least we can have a general idea of how many collectors are going to be going. Because the Billy Ireland Museum definitely wants to know, because they need to know whether or not they have to have two people to help us on that day when they kind of split us up to do the behind the scenes tours and whatnot. So I'm excited. I've lived in Ohio all my life, and now I'm leaving. And the moment I'm leaving, I'm finally going to the Billy Ireland Museum. So yeah, Tony, I wish you could go too. It is going to be fun, and I'm sure we'll shoot a fair amount of video and photographs, and we'll recap it all, because I do believe the COSI Marvel exhibit closes at 5 as well. So my feeling is that I'll probably stay in Columbus both nights, Friday and Saturday. So anybody who's staying till Sunday, we'll definitely do something on Saturday night as well, and of course Friday night too. So I don't know Columbus all that well, but I'll try to figure out a few places we can have dinner at, and I'll even look around and see what kind of hotel accommodations are there. I know that there's several hotels within walking distance of COSI, so it's Kirby's Ghost Table. It might be. All right, so there you go. So that I'm looking forward to that as my farewell to Ohio, getting to do that. So anybody that wants to do it with me, it's going to be a good time, guaranteed. And once in a lifetime thing to be able to do both of those things in 2 consecutive days. I don't know where the Marvel exhibit's going, but after, I think, September 5th, it closes in Columbus. So I think it might be going overseas, but I could be wrong. RV party. We can talk about that another time. But we could have RV parties at my place in Florida, because I do have I have 5 acres, a lot of places to park RVs. So when I do have a get together at my place in Florida, I was going to tell people, hey, you want to bring your own RV, spend the night, spend the weekend? We've got space for it. But yeah, that'll be in the fall. My first Florida get together. I'm kind of thinking it'll be around October, sometime mid to late October, because then we know we're going to do something in Florida February 1st for CAF's 20th anniversary. Still have to work that out. There won't be food trucks though. All right. Well, on with the brief schedule that I can update you with. I did forget one item on there, but I'll go ahead and show the art sale schedule just to remind everybody. Got Howard Chaykin coming up on Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Joe Linsner Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. James and Khalil 9 o'clock on Monday Eastern time, of course. Then we're gonna, because of the big Heritage Signature Auction on the 16th, I'll be doing I say I wrote it as 200 or less. It's actually going to be $250 or less. Both guys. I mean, it's going to be a show that at the end of the day, I don't think we're all too much concerned about what we're selling. Uh, they're basically going to have, we're going to do 10 rounds with 3 pieces per round they wanted. So at 90 seconds per round. So they're just going to show off these lower end pieces, probably mostly unpublished stuff, I imagine. But Mike was making a pile, and I was giving him stuff as well. So I know he's going to have all of his things prepped and ready to go. Before the end of the month is out, I have a art sale show with artist Dan Lawless on the 27th. That's a Monday as well, and it says 2 p.m. Of course, it's 9 p.m. I don't. That's my typo. Then I have a new amateur show with Jordan and Tatiana on the 11th of July, which is going to be a lot of fun. Both of them, of course, are veterans of the amateur matches, if we can call them amateurs any longer. But we'll be doing that show. It's going to be $1,000 and under show. There will be 12 rounds for that event with 2 artworks per round. And then I still have Dennis Cowan on the schedule for July 30th. And then I know I've got them coming, but I don't know when they're going to be. Vosberg and Gerhard are confirmed, but it's hard to say when they're going to happen. I think both of those are going to be in the fall. But I did talk with Chuck, and he's like, we're going to do it, but it might not have as many pieces as the last time. But he wanted to do it after the summer was over. And Vosberg, he's got a few other priorities in his schedule right now, so he was not able to commit until the fall. Now, I really have to start emailing people because I'm running out of Tuesday shows and all the side shows that I do. I mean, I've just gotten so far darn behind from the Comic Art Live to the moves to coming back here. I'm going to show you the schedule for chatting, and you'll chuckle. And I did leave one thing off, and I apologize to Jeff Wedding early, but yeah. So basically what I've got is next Tuesday, I've got Joe and Nadia on, and we're going to do the Heritage preview for the upcoming signature auction starting on Thursday. And I've got the Ha recap on the following Tuesday, and I have really nothing in between. But I did forget that on the 19th, Jeff and I are going to we're going to do it live. We're going to do the first CAF University show. I always want to do it offline, record it, and really script it and edit it and make it polished and perfect. And it's just not going to happen. It really is not going to happen. So what we've decided to do is we're going to do it live. And that's where we're going to talk about storing your art, different, poly bags and Mylar. We're going to talk about, the pros and cons to all of that. And it'll be good. But if we don't do it live, we're never going to get this CAF University stuff started. So that's the process we're going to use to get it rolling. So I'm sorry, I can't read the chat. Yes, like Bill O'Reilly. Screw it, let's do it live. Yes, that's kind of what we're talking about at this point. So, but yeah, it'll work out good. So let me see. I gotta get this rolling because we're already at 38 minutes, and I thought I'd be done early tonight, and I'm clearly not going to be. But here, I'm going to show you that quick packing video. Now, like I said, speaking of CAFU, this won't be an official CAFU that I post, and it will probably get posted on Sunday evening. I'll probably have it roll out at like 9 p.m. or something like that. It's only 15 minutes long, but it has where I've kind of just given the overview that Mikhail's done a few different times in different places regarding how to properly pack art for the easiest way for the recipient to get the art and the best way to ship it as well. So that will drop probably at 9 p.m. on Sunday. But this is just my quick, why did I do this, thing? Because packing 30 pieces of art was a lot of work, and even the prep time. You figure I bought 3 sheets of masonite, 4x8 sheets of masonite, and had my table saw out in the driveway, cutting them up into 12x16 pieces, all by myself because nobody's here. And so it was like I probably had an hour's worth of prep, and then it took me at least, you figure I did all the address labels and then putting them all together. It was 3 hours of that, and then taking them to the post office. They rolled their eyes when I walked in there with a whole stack of masonite. But here you go. Here's the 2 minutes. So if you don't want to watch it, this is the time for you to go to the bathroom or something if you need to. But here it is. Yeah, that is the Stranger Things backdrop, isn't it? I really wanted to have that 80s vibe whenever I do any of those quick run throughs on anything. It's I don't know. It makes me chuckle every time I do it. But anyways, look for the longer video on where there. Yeah, I did put it in there when I sped it up a couple times. The longer video will be on the 15-minute video will be on Sunday night at 9 as a not a premiere or anything. It'll just launch on that at that time, because I found that the more of these shorter clips that I put back out there onto YouTube, it actually is really helping on views, and it's driving a lot more traffic to the channel, which is I never would have guessed. So that's why I've been packaging those pieces into putting them out when I don't have a show. So it kind of keeps something out there new 7 days a week. And for whatever reason, the shorter shows that are not live that get posted get more love and attention from from YouTube's algorithm as far as getting us listed on the homepage. It's happened twice now. James CAF Cribs got on there, although it didn't get a ton of views. Like half the traffic came from the homepage of YouTube. And the day that I posted it, I think we got 30 new subscribers. So Nick, word to the wise, come up with these short bits that you can put out there, and man, it actually works really well. I'm a little shocked, but yes, short videos are very, very key. But it's not like the teasers. The teasers they're good, but I think short videos with content. So whether you can sample something or you're putting together like I am with the weekly flips and that's the stuff they like. So yeah, Tony Bristler, my back hurts watching that. Yeah, it was not a fun thing. I mean, I'll do it again, because of course we couldn't have Jiggy ship 36 pieces of art from the Philippines. It just wasn't going to be economical for him to do it. So I think at least, well, the thing is, next time, hopefully my daughters are with me and I'll pay them to do it. And it was funny. I don't know who I was talking to, but they said, why didn't you just take it to Mike's brother, John? Because he ships all of his art. And I was like, oh, man, where's the brain trust when I need him? So yeah, it was packing art was not fun, but yeah, there you go, Jordan. That's why we have kids. But mine have to be around in order for me to take advantage of them. So, why don't we get to this week's weekly flip? Huh? Derek WC did the flip this week. That's Derek Crabb on CAF. And so if I don't know if Derek's in the audience, because I haven't been able to pay attention to the chat like I would have liked to. But yeah, Jason, I completely agree. I can only imagine shipping the art being the worst part of Dueling Dealers. But let's go ahead and take a look at this week's weekly flip with Derek. He's showing off a commissions portfolio, and this clip by itself will drop tomorrow at 1, like I do with all of the weekly flips. So you can watch it again on Friday, or for those who like to watch it here, you can watch it here right now, because here, where is it? Oh, there it is.
Hey guys, this is my weekly flip of my commission folder. This is one of the first pieces that got me started. It's a Dan Jurgens Superman. This was actually won at WonderCon in 2018. First taste is free, kid, but the next will cost you. This is a commission from Mike Allred and Laura Allred of Surf's Up Batman meets the Silver Surfer. This actually was the first time I watched a video on CAF or Comic Art Live, and then Simon was kind enough to point out the connection between the video and CAF, and that got me started on my journey there. This is Silver Savage versus Gladiator Superman, pencils by Ron Lim, and Blue Line inks by Bob Layton. This is a Transformers commission by Dan Kana. I'll just turn it to the side here. We've got Cheetor and Rodimus Prime. Cheetor from Beast Machines. And then joining them in the background are some fiery, angry young lads We've got Tasmanian Kid, Break, Sideburn, and Hot Shot. And for the fully realized digital composition with color, this is what the final piece looks like. And then we've got a Tom Grummett commission of Hot Rod with the Connell Superboy. We've got another commission from Andrew Griffith. This is a homage to X-Men 141, Days of Future Past, and a homage to Transformers Cyberverse Season 3. We've got Hot Rod and Clobber filling the Wolverine and Kitty Pryde roles. And then we've got a bunch of characters here who were either apprehended and or slain. And I sort of went to great lengths to make sure that the characters who died in Cyberverse were actually the ones that had the slain moniker on them. So Prowl and Bludgeon both were actually killed on the show, whereas the Quintessons apprehended all the other characters here on the background poster. Here we've got an Alex Milne Rodimus Prime with the Matrix and the Cosmic Spidey. Here we've got a Jeff Sr. Galvatron, and that's Kang the Conqueror up on his shoulder there. Here's a Wheelie by Livio Ramondelli, and up on his shoulder is Franklin Richards. Here's a Joker portrait by Ron Randall. This was picked up at HeroesCon in 2019. The request here actually was based on the screenwriter Sam Hamm thinking of Ray Liotta for the role of the Joker back in 1989. So I just kind of wanted to see what that might look like, and this is Ron Randall's interpretation of that request. This is a Jerry Ordway Batman. Basically, it's sort of a tabloid sequel version to Batman 89. I was reading this tabloid magazine when I was a little kid, and of course I believed every word of it, that they had the inside scoop to the Batman sequel. They were saying that Fred Savage was going to be Robin, and that Kim Basinger was going to be pregnant with a bat baby. And I should have known better when they told me that in addition to Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Catwoman, that it would also feature King Tut. That should have been the giveaway. And I kind of knew something was rotten in Denmark when they said King Tut. But up until then, I totally believed that this would be the sequel to the Batman 89 film. I guess Joker was supposed to have his lucky cards, his playing deck, and his lucky card was what was going to bring him back to life somehow. Anyway, here we've got a Robbie Amore from Next Comic Art of Pureheart the Powerful, aka Archie Andrews, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And then from Catskill Comics, we've got a Ron Friends commission featuring Ghost Rider and Raideen. So Ghost Rider and Raideen from Shogun Warriors. And then we've got the two racing below. It's Johnny Blaze and Richard Carson. So I always kind of figured if they were both stunt riders in Los Angeles at the same time, that they had to know each other. So that's how this commission took place. An Aaron Lopresti Sludge from Malibu's Ultraverse versus DC's Swamp Thing. Two kind of swamp muck monsters going at it. Ultraman the Next, Shunichi Maki and Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. I always kind of figured Ultraman and Green Lantern were kind of similar in terms of origins and sort of space cops that police the universe. So I figured these guys go well together. And this is by Daryl Banks. We've got Karate Kid by Jeff Johnson. I don't know if I skipped. Oh, I did. Oops. Okay. Kevin McGuire, Heckler and Madcap, Brett Booth, Cyclops. And then now back to Jeff Johnson, Karate Kid. Guardians of the Galaxy by Tim Trung. And Room for Expansion. So, yeah, hope you guys like that. Take care, guys.
So, you know what? When I was looking at that, it reminded me, I did see like 8 or 9 Transformer pages. Are there Transformer fans in the audience? I have no idea. I never really was a big fan of the Transformers, but I did see like 8 or 9 pages of that in mixed places throughout. They weren't all together, but I just thought it was interesting because it's not like something you see too often. There's not a lot of Marcus says not me. All right. But Michael Callahan says his kid was excited to see the Transformers art. So, and Larry says he's got some. So, all right. Hey, all right. Well, you know, if I can remind myself next time, I should just take pictures when I'm over at Berkey's next. But yeah, it was ironic just to see that much Transformers art while I was there, because it's just not something I would expect to see there. Anyway, no one's commented on that. Me putting that Power Rangers Megazord thing back there. Remember, you guys were joking with me that I needed to put some kind of transformer or something behind me in Florida. So I purposefully took that from my son's room when he was packing up stuff, and I put it back there. But nobody's seemed to notice it yet. So what am I going to do? And I can't keep it. That's not coming down with me either. That one's actually going to have to stay with my son. He said I can't use it as a prop for, in Florida. It's got to go with him. All right. Next up, I could show the crib. I guess we could do that right now. Jason D'Ambrosio has put together a CAF Cribs episode, which will debut, of course, tomorrow on the channel at 3:00. But we get to see it here tonight first. And Jason did it. Man, I'll tell you, you guys did a phenomenal job filming this one. I'm just going to say that in advance because I was pretty impressed. So I know that's what I'm going to have to live up to when I record the stuff that's behind me. So let's go ahead and show the CAF Cribs for this week. And of course, I have nobody lined up for CAF Cribs other than Mr. Berkey. So I would encourage anybody who wants to do it to reach out to me and let me know. Same thing with the weekly flip. I don't have a weekly flip lined up for next week, although I do have an extra video from Derek. So if I don't get a weekly flip before then Derek's going to get 2 weeks in a row. So keep that in mind, everybody. And, just email me, bill@comicartfans.com, and I'm happy to give you instructions on how to get me the video clips so that I can put those into the flips and cribs videos. But here, without further ado, let's take a look inside the world of Mr. Unstoppable Jason D'Ambrosio.
Hey CAFsters, welcome to my office for CAF's Cribs. I wanted to give you a tour of my space here. The one thing I wanted when Elizabeth and I bought a new house was to have an office full of art, and I'm going to give you a little tour of it now. So we're going to start with the smaller stuff up here. That's a Josh Cassara Wolverine, and that is a Richard Pace Magic. Another Josh Cassara Colossus. One great thing about Josh is that he does a head sketch whenever he sells you a piece of art. So I have a bunch of these. There's a Magneto, as you can see. Thank you letter to me. Another Josh Cassara Jean Grey. Then we got a nice Ken Lashley Cyclops. Moving along, this is a recent pickup. This is a Chris Pachalo Gen X piece. Simon Bisley Man-Thing. Chris Pachalo Wolverine and Spider-Man. Larry Stroman Ghost Rider. Jim Lee Hulk and Sasquatch. That's by an Australian artist, Will Plyden, is the Phoenix there. Not sure if everyone knows, but this is Adi Granoff's sister, Dejana Granoff, doing the Jean Grey there. How could I not have my original X-Men 1 signed by Lee, Claremont, and Scott Williams back in the 90s? Finally, something published by Josh Cassara, his first X-Force cover. And a Josh Cassara Beast sketch. One of my favorite pieces, Adam Kubert Wolverine. It's actually the first Feral Wolverine DPS from issue 75. John Byrne, recreation of a DPS from X-Men 113, I believe. Buzz Sawyer strip. Oh, sorry. We got Thor by Mignola. And then a Buzz Sawyer strip. I need another strip to fit in there. Moving along. Declan Shalvey, Punisher. Paul Smith print and a Ron Wilson recreation of a Thing cover. Ron Garney, Uncanny X-Men DPS. Wolverine coming at you. Nice Jeff Isherwood Thor DPS. Rafa Sandoval doing Magneto. One of my favorite Adam Kubert covers for Weapon X10, Wolverine and all of his women. An Uncanny X-Men cover by Declan Shalvey. Page from Wolverine Black, White, and Blood by Josh Cassara. Those reds are all hand-painted by Josh. Scott Williams, Uncanny cover. David Finch, New Mutants cover. Frank Cho glue line with Aranga inks of Savage Land Rogue. Then we got the Hugo Smith corner. We got Phoenix, Goblin Queen, Rogue, and the Inhumans. An Aranga Phoenix silhouette. An Adam Kubert DPS from Age of Apocalypse. A much more recent Adam Kubert DPS. This is actually a monoprint with a sketch. Alan Davis, the Excalibur 50 cover. Art Adams, X-Men Years of Future Past or something to that effect cover. Goblin Queen by Declan Shalvey. Boba Fett by Mark Laming. Joe Jusko, Beast card art. Sabretooth cover by Dustin Weaver with a overlay done by Mikhail. Thank you, Mikhail. John Byrne from Iron Fist 15. All Wolverine and Iron Fist battling it out. Alan Davis and Paul Neary from Excalibur 2. Werner Roth, X-Men, Twice Up, End page. The King, Jack Kirby, X-Men page from issue 10. Jim Lee, Scott Williams from X-Men 2. John Romita Jr. from X-Men 202. Another Buzz Sawyer strip. Another strip. Carlos Pacheco from Uncanny 1. recent addition. I'm really happy to have it. Jim Lee Splash from Uncanny 275 with Scott Williams inks. Todd McFarlane, the only DC piece you'll find around here. Infinity Ink. Steve McNevin, Wolverine from Wizard. This is an Adam Hughes piece that was from the 80th anniversary of Captain America, redoing the Cap's meeting with the Avengers when he's unfrozen. David Mack, Psylocke. Eric Canetti, re-imaging the classic Sienkiewicz Dark Phoenix cover. And a Larry Stroman Phoenix, like you'll never see again. That's it, Kath. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed.
Cut!
Man, what a collection. That's a lot of X-Men art, Jason. Love it. That's you gotta have like little museum tours of your place sometime. You know, if anybody comes out that way, I'm sure they're all any of us would be invited. Bill Lash. There was no Bill Lash up there, Chris. Not one piece. Mike was hoping that I was going to find some Bill Lash artwork while I was digging through stuff, but no chance, no luck in there. But I did look for him. He wanted to put some more Bill Lash art in the show. But yeah, Jason, very well done. Just like Dino just mentioned, that was a really, really good CAF Cribs episode and well filmed. I have to admit, I thought you followed her along. I don't know if you like planned it all out ahead of time, but I really liked the way it was done, and the narration followed the artwork perfect. So good job from you both. So Larry just says he learned that Thor was a mutant. Yeah, Thor kind of stands out in all those. And all the X-Men art in there. You got a few Thor pieces in there. Good stuff, though. Very, very good stuff. A great collection, Jason. We all know that you're new to the hobby, but you've really kind of made a huge splash in your short time here. So kudos to you, and also just for loving to show it off. I mean, I think that I'm sure when you were looking at houses to buy, you were looking for that office that had enough wall space for all the stuff that you wanted to frame. So it looks fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah, as Rich just mentioned, that one was one of my favorites as well. The Burn Iron Fist page, very, very cool. So, all right, let's keep the show rolling. I'm going to go ahead and show that. Remember, I'm doing Heritage is sponsoring the show now, so I have 10 picks. I went through, and what I'm going to do, I think every week, rather than like when I do my picks with for the artwork and people's CAF galleries that I do most of the time with Chris, I'm usually just going by stuff that I love, right? I mean, it's a little hard for me not to, but and try to put something, a dash of something different in it every time. But with the Heritage picks that I do, I've decided every week I'm just going to go through the whole like 200 pieces that they have, and I'm going to make sure that I'm not carrying over too many pieces and too many artists. So I want to do something different every time if I'm going to feature stuff. So these are my 10 picks from the current auction that just started early this morning, right? I mean, they start them at like 1 a.m. Eastern. So let's see, what do we got here? First up is a Gil Kane, Jim Mooney, Dave Hunt, Marvel Team Up 16 page. We were just looking at Captain Marvel the other day, right? With the little funny sparkles around him. And then I saw this page and I was like, well, that's a good one to feature. So nice page. I don't think too often, they put decent Spidey pages in their weekly auction, but that's a nice one. But we don't have, it's funny. Namor can't tell us whether or not the eyes are too big because you really can't see them. Look, he only have a little sliver of one right there. Can't tell if it's too big or not. So, but again, very nice page there from an early issue of Marvel Team Up. Next up, Chris Bichello. This is from the second Age of Apocalypse. I like that bottom area there with Wolverine and Storm. I don't know who was the inks on this one. Doesn't look like Townsend. Let's see. Irwin. Not sure who that would be, but a very, very nice page. And what else we got here? Oh, Darwin Cook. I mean, how can you go wrong with a Darwin Cook piece? That's really nice. I have never owned anything by Darwin, but one day I will correct that. Scott says the eyes were too hidden on the Spider-Man. Definitely. Mark Irwin was seeing, says Nick. Okay, yeah, I wasn't familiar with the last name, but yeah, actually, a while back I set aside a Darwin piece that's over at Berkey's, so one of these days I'll be able to show that off, but I haven't picked that one up yet. Then what do we got here? We have a Bernie Wrightson Batman illustration, so pretty decent. I mean, in general, I mean the line work. I mean, when you first look at it, you don't think Bernie, but definitely when you kind of look in at the font, the way these hatch marks are, that's a nice. You can see it there. But when I first noticed it, I was like, really, that's Bernie? And now I see it. It's in the details. So Wrightson Batman, and then of course a Mark Teixeira Wolverine. I used to own probably like 3 Wolverine pieces by Mark before I built my miniature golf course. So I don't have them any longer, but I definitely wouldn't mind having this one. That one is very nice. And this is not an All Mutants episode of picking heritage artwork, but I do have another one here by Gerald Perel. This was a variant cover to, I think, the C2E2 con for Wolverine #1. But I've always liked Perel's work, and yeah, this is really, really nice. Battle damaged Wolverine right there. And I had to pick this one. Yeah, I always like Romita Senior stuff, and I was just talking about that the other day. Pencil art. So here's like a piece of merchandising art with the Campbell's kids. I just thought it was funny, but a nice piece here. A little bit of logo work there from Romita Senior as well. Don't know what I guess maybe it was a comic, right? Maybe a comic book that was given away with some Campbell soup. But I actually saw a fair amount of Romita Senior artwork at Berkey's, but nothing that I wanted. Pencil stuff by and large too. This is a good page. Anything Doctor Strange and Brunner, right? And really, really cool page here. And again, these auctions all started just last night, so there's not a lot of bids on most of them. Then a Frank Thorne Marvel feature page with Red Sonja. I mean, I love Frank Thorne's artwork. I mean, his detail and his style is just so amazing. One of these days, I will own a page by him. And Berkey's got like a dozen of them laying around, nothing on his website. So I know at least it's an opportunity one day if I want to get one. But man, he's just that panel right there is just stunning. And finally, just for fun, a Paul Smith Man-Thing. I love Paul Smith, as everybody knows. He's in my top X-Men guys, right? So, but a Man-Thing of all things. So I really like this one. We know that Paul does random art drops on his site very sporadically and has no way of really announcing it. But it looks like this was probably one of those kind of pickups, right? But this is I like this one a lot, and a little bit more detail than you get in some of the the more fine pieces done by Paul Smith. And as a matter of fact, the last time I was at Mike's, I set aside a Paul Smith Jean Grey piece actually. So I forgot about that, but I haven't picked it up yet. So at any rate, there's my 10 picks this week from Heritage. I'm going to do that every week now because, as I said, they're sponsoring the show. So they didn't even ask me to do that. I just felt like if you're going to sponsor the show, I got to do something. And I like looking at artwork, and it just gives me another reason to do that. And I hope you guys are enjoying the Thursday emails that I've been sending out. I know I just sent out my second one, but I always wanted to add a new bit of newsletter content out there. And now that with Heritage sponsoring the show, I thought this is the opportunity. So I'm trying to mix in a lot of stuff and promote the people whose artwork we're sharing a little bit better, because we've never really had a good mechanism of doing that. But if you check out the Thursday email, it goes out. I'm always going to send it out late in the afternoon. It went out at I think 4:30, 4:45 Eastern today, but it's got a whole paragraph dedicated that lists out the 20 people whose artworks we're featuring. It doesn't link to the artwork, links to their CAF gallery. And then I try to recap stuff. I mentioned, that Jason's got his CAF cribs and Derek has his weekly flip. I link to their galleries from there. So, I just want to do more. I really want to try to find ways to make these things a little bit more fun, and also just draw attention to the show. I want more people hanging around, talking with you guys. Yeah, isn't that true? I do agree with you on that one, Ruben. It just was an odd piece from Paul. There's so much detail in it. Usually, Paul's got such a clean line, and it's probably just the character. He probably got into doing the inking on that one. And Chris likes the Perel Wolvie a lot. I did too. I really did too. And if it would only stay at that price, you could get this one, and I could get the next one. I don't know if it was giant sized or not, Rich. Sorry to say. All right, but I didn't look through everything. But I saw Nick said that Thorn rocks, and Thorn does rock. I mean, he's somebody who I've always wanted to get a page from. So, so there you have that. I think that, like I say, I'm going to get one from Berkey probably in the very near future. Now, before we get to the CAF update, I've got 3 things that I still need to do, and one of those is to show the Nick's preview for his EXP show tomorrow. He's on at 7:00 on the EXP. And it's always a good show, lots of fun. I didn't get to catch last week's, but Nick always has very well priced art, and he always has some fun giveaways or things of that nature going on, or discounted art that you will not see anywhere else, not even on the Dueling Dealers. Nick, he outdoes both Mike and Anthony on a weekly basis with the deals he puts out there. They had the $53 for his birthday. Yeah, that was a good one. You down with the EXP? I think everybody should be down with the EXP. But let me give you the preview for tomorrow night's EXP show.
Guys, this is going to be an exciting Friday, June 10th at 7 p.m. I'm really excited. We have artwork this Friday like we've never had before. We're mixing it up. We're having some fun. So Friday on the Experience, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Just making sure everybody's got it right. We have... Check out this Marvel Knights 2-page spread. This is by Jesus Muiz, inks by Scott Hanna. It is beautiful. Check out Keith Giffen Love. DC Comics presents 81 with Ambush Bug. This is freaking awesome. I'm going to jump around because it's fun. We have a Cable headshot by John Romita Jr. and Scott Hanna. We have Secret Invasion, The Inhumans by Tom Rainey. We also have JLA 107 2-page spread by Ron Garney. Man, it just gets better and better. We have our commission cover art. This is number 4 of 5 of a AP edition, artist proof. Then we have a Detective Comics with a Batman sketch, and there may be another piece here. You have to tune in Friday and check out this Star Wars piece by Mog Park. It rocks. So, Friday, June 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only on the Original Art Experience. See you Friday at 7 on the Experience.
You guys in the chat are so funny. All right, now I probably should have showed these a little bit earlier in the show when we were talking about the show schedule, but I thought for those of you still hanging out with me tonight, and there's 80 plus still in the chat or watching on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to give you guys the preview of what art we're going to be selling this weekend for both Howard Chaykin and Joe Linsner. Sound good? Sound fair? Only preview here. I got to say, I always tease a few pieces in the emails that I send out. So like 3 pieces, but tonight I will just breeze through them rather quickly. We're not going to linger on them for too long, but at least you'll get a feel for what pieces both gentlemen are bringing to their show. So we'll do Howard first. Howard, of course, is going to be on Saturday at 2 p.m. With me, and we will have. I'm not going to kind of disarm Howard this time like I did the last time, making it where he took it easy on me. So I think we'll have a much more interesting show on this Saturday. But let me go through it now. Howard is bringing 16 pieces of art. He's done 2 cover recreations. One is of his own work, and the other one, you'll see it, but it's not a cover that he originally drew. So let me go ahead and show off what Howard's bringing. So, and I would say that I think it's of the 16 pieces, 14 are character commissions, 2 are the cover recreations. All of his character commissions are probably in that $500 or $600 range, or $450. We haven't really talked pricing yet. I'm going to do that with him tomorrow, but these are a lot more. From my perspective, they're a lot more finished than the ones that he had done for the last show. So you had Wolverine. You got a nice Darth Vader here. What else we got? What is this one called? Tink. He's at a Tinkerbell. I don't think that's the way Disney envisioned Tinkerbell, is it? Let's see. We got a Superman. And again, I think these are all 9x12. I'll have to confirm that with them. Very nice. Oh, even better, right? Let's see what else we got. Namorita. Who would have thought he would draw a Namorita? Luke. He's got a pretty darn large lightsaber there. This is the cover recreation from American Flag. I forget which issue this was, but I think it was. Might have been like a trade cover or something. I'll have to go back and look. But very, very nice. And a little bit more American Flag here. Here is the cover recreation that he's done. Of course, everybody should recognize that issue of Detective Comics. And a Deadpool. A beautiful woman. Another beautiful woman. And there's a thigh gap there, Fish. I won't linger on that one. And another beautiful woman by Howard. That one's actually pretty nice. They're all really nice. Now we got a Batman again. And that's the last one from Howard. So those are Howard's 16 artworks. Now let me go ahead and switch it around. And now let's see. What did Joe say? Joe said he's going to bring 25 artworks. He has only given me 10 so far. So, but I believe Joe. I believe he will bring 25. And right now, I think they're all covers. So just like the last time we did the show with Joe, he had 24 artworks and probably 20 of them were covers. So we're doing the same thing again. Let me, Larry says Howard draws a mean Batman. That is so very true. Okay, and Rick Welch is saying that's the cover to American Flag 3. All right, I wasn't sure which one it was. I thought it was on a trade too. But yes, Chaikin is bringing the heat. Yeah, he enjoys doing these. He had one of the most from the surveys I did after the show. People loved his panel on Comic Art Live, even though it was just him talking. It was really well received, and it's probably one of the more viewed shows that we had from that weekend. Who might have been more than him? Maybe Nick Klein, but not many. I mean, Howard's a draw. He's a lot of fun. So even if you don't want to buy any artwork, you should tune in just for the show. I guarantee it's going to be great. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so let me show you the Linsner pieces that I have so far. The 12 pieces from Linsner. So here is the first one. What does it say on it? Betty Page for Raw. So I mean, I think somebody's familiar with that. Hell Sonia, Raw as well. I love Linsner's work. Isn't that great? And I know that I think he digitally does stuff in the backgrounds for most of these, but that's a really nice piece right there. And another one. Gosh, see, that's why I had to get that Medusa. He just draws pretty women, even when they've got hooves for feet. So what does that say? Hell Sonia as well. This one's an immortal Red Sonia. Friend or foe. Hey, look at that. That's great. I didn't see. I really didn't look at the artwork ahead of this me previewing it, but that one, and that actually has some background in it too. Wow. Skulls for Bill. That's right, Kelly. Dynamite says Nick. Exactly. Let's see what else we got here. Wow, look at that thing. So, yep. Joe is amazing. Wow. And another good one. So he's packing the heat for Sunday, and that's a 2:00 show as well. Yeah, that's really, gosh, he's just awesome. John Carter 4 Raw. Yeah, what else we got here? Red Sonja, issue 5. That's pretty cool. Like a statue. Topless. Skulls for me and a topless Shatner for Maureen. Yeah, exactly. She probably would have loved to have seen Shatner without his shirt on at one point. And what do we got here? Oh, Sheena. So there you go. Great stuff as always from Joe. And that's just 10 pieces. He says he's going to have 25. So it'll be good. Yeah, I think did we sell out on Joe's show? I think with both Howard and Joe, when we first had shows with them, I think only one piece from everything they brought didn't sell. So it should be a good weekend. Definitely a lot of good artwork. And I agree with you. Red Bullet Linsner is great and a super nice guy too. Nick would attest to that. Nick has worked a lot with Joe, and Nick and I are trying to work on something together right now. And just so you know, Nick, I asked him about it. He said that after I made my suggestion to him, he said he had a slightly different idea and he was going to get back to us soon. So yeah, he is so talented. I completely agree. All right, so there you go. That's all my checklist now. I've literally gotten all those things done. I can now talk about the CAF update and roll through that, I believe. So what do we got here? Of course, this is for the week that was May 30th through June 5th. So it was a good week for dealers. They really did phenomenal, $410,000 plus, and that was over 279 from the prior week. And let's see, who were the leaders on that? Leaderboard would have been Panel Page with 6 sales, $130,000. I didn't check all 6, but I think Glenn had the top sale. But let's see, Ramita Man next, 16 sales, $107,000. Felix had the Stegman drop. He had 35 sales, $84,000 plus. Anthony had 72 sales for $40,000. Albert had 13 sales, $21,000, and Will rounded out those over 10 with 1 sale for $16,000. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the top 6 sales were from last week from the comic art dealers whom I track for sales. So forgive me on this. I had to put these together, so my highlighting and notes aren't as good as my son would usually do them. But this was the cover to Amazing Spider-Man 287 by Bob Hall, and the asking price on this one from Panel Page was $75,000 when it sold. And this, of course, was one on the expensive Dueling Dealers show. This one sold for $50,000, and it's by Adkins Ramita Sr. and Rich Buckler, sold by Mike Berkey. Next up, a very, very memorable cover for many of us who are over a certain age. Marvel Team Up 109 cover by John Romita Jr., sold by Glenn for the asking price of $35,000. And this one was sold by Felix. This is it's listed as a cover. I don't know if it's a cover or a complete issue. Step by Bloody Step by Matthias Bergara. I'll have to check through the notes on that one. It probably was a complete issue. Next up, this was sold on Dueling Dealers as well by Mr. Berkey. I guess he finally collected on that one. Bob McLeod, Jeff Purves, Incredible Hulk 356 cover. And last but not least, this was Will's. It was art by Chris Warner. And this is Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue 5 from 1985. So that is our top 6 sales of the week from original comic art dealers that I track. Of course, I only track about 30. So of the whole economy system out there of original art dealers, it's a small fraction of what's going on out there. But the dealers I do track, like I said, you had a total of 410,000 in sales last week. Very, very good. And I agree, it's very strong price on the Moon Knight. I did see a few Moon Knight pieces over at Mike's too, not Sienkiewicz. If they were Sienkiewicz, I would have put them in my pile. But there were some. What was it? There was a page from like issue 35, and then maybe early 50s or something. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, Bill did show us all who the boss was, Rick, on that show. And they're better not. Don't say, Marcus, every time you say that, they show up. So please don't do it. Don't say it again. All right, let's get this thing wrapped up so we can talk about the popular art of the week. So next up is the auction results. And very average week. It went from last week, it was $373,000, but it had that Jim Davis heritage auction in it for about 100,000. So really, this is an average week, 280,000. Well, $279,046, right? So we'll call it 280 from eBay and Heritage. eBay amounted to 130,000 of that, and Heritage did rather well. They usually are around the 110,000 mark. They finished just under $150,000 of that total. So let's go take a look at the top 6 sales. Top 3 from eBay and top 3 from Heritage. Oh, wrong one. Here it is. All right. So this first one, well, there you go. It's 279 and 46. So Dave Johnson did this cover. This is the cover to Star Wars Bounty Hunters #1. It's a variant cover, sold for $6,500 supposedly, but actually sold for $6,100 with a make offer on eBay. Next up, this awesome Gary Frank Thor Banner of War cover, sold for $4,383 at auction on eBay. As the second highest lot last week, and the third lot was from Sergio Aragones. Had that great show on 4C earlier this week. This is from Gru, Mightier Than the Sword, issue 2, page 20 splash, sold for $2,000. And here are the top 3 from Heritage. First up is this Frank Miller, Joe Rubenstein Eternity illustration from the Marvel Universe set of drawings. This one sold for $13,200. Really, really nice. Couldn't tell it was Frank though, right? But very nice piece indeed. Next up is this John Buscema, Tom Palmer Avengers 80-page, selling price $10,800. And finally, Gabriel Dell'Otto, Spider-Man versus Green Goblin, straight up illustration, selling for $5,040. So, it's funny just looking at the Buscema market anymore, right? I mean, because that page really, no Avengers on it, right? And it's still over $10,000. I mean, it makes that they're always over $10,000 anymore, right? It's crazy. I'm not saying they're not worth it, but it's so funny. You look at where the market is at, even still, because what was it? Anthony was it on the expensive show, or was it? No, it was a show where Anthony hit $1 million. He had a Buscema Avengers page, which was good, but it sold before the recap at the asking price, which was $10,000. It was and it sold almost immediately. So very strong market for Big John consistently, and it's a good thing. Like I said, I saw at least a dozen John Buscema pages at Berkey's while digging through the bins over the weekend. So, yep, as Omar says, gotta love a Frank Miller and a John Buscema page. Red Wolf is an Avenger. Was he an Avenger? I don't know. See, I don't remember that, but I'll believe you. Let's see, what Ruben laughed out loud when he said it was okay. I don't know what he's talking about, but does Bill lift? Mirroring them? No, I don't. Well, I'll tell you, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight before I get to Heroes, because I don't want to look like a tubby hubby. Because I'll tell you, the last 2 years of not exercising and getting out as often as I should have left me with a paunch. So I'm trying to get rid of that before Heroes, so you guys don't laugh at me and make fun of me while I'm there. But Miss Marvel show, that reminds me, Marcus, I actually set aside a Miss Marvel page, believe it or not, and it's been, I forgot all about it. I should probably pick that one up before Mike decides I'm not worthy of it. But it was a decent Ms. Marvel page from, I think, like issue 5 or 6. So I set that one aside probably a month ago. So yeah, I better keep an eye on that one. He might be inclined to free it before I decide to take it out of the house. All right, here we go. We got Mr. Snork in the green room. And let me get him in here with me. Hey, Chris. How are we doing tonight?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm very good. Very, very good. You looking forward to 2 weeks from now, man?
I am. I hear you on the paunch, too. I've actually been on quite a regimen for the last few months trying to get ready for this show.
I know. I'm just so out of shape. I haven't gone on walks. I haven't done, anything in the last 2 years like I did, prior to COVID. And yeah, it's all I've been thinking about. It's like, shoot, I look in the mirror and I'm like, man, I gotta fix this. And Maureen's like, you look fine. I'm like, nah. When you're buying, sizing up on the pants and everything every time,
yeah,
that you got problems. And it's not that because I'm getting older. It's because I'm just sitting on my butt longer.
Yeah, and COVID was great for that. So I'm happy to say that as of this morning, I've lost 50 pounds to come to make the trip. So, yeah.
Well, that's incredible. I'm just trying to lose about 8. And I'm having a hard time. It's probably
Well,
because of all these Cokes.
we
See?
started in a different place, I think, though.
So, let's see. What did Ruben wanted to know how you feeling? Are you 100% over your COVID now?
Yeah, better than ever. Thanks for asking.
Good. Yeah, that's I was, funny when I saw Nick earlier, I was like, he looks like he's 100% back healthy now in that EXP video clip, right? Because for a long time he just seemed to be, that cold seemed to linger, and that he never seemed to get over it. But in the video, I was like,
he looked gray almost in that
he
first
did.
one. I was like, whoa, Nick got hit hard.
Right. And this
Poor
was like
guy.
the first clip where I feel like he looks like normal Nick. So that is very, very good. So everybody's glad that you're feeling well. So so why don't we get started? I apologize. I'm still late with my stuff. I know you're like holding back. You don't want to like give me your picks until I get my list to you. But
Well, you know what I've realized is I can still pick on Monday or, whatever, because maybe once, and I think you fixed it right away that we've overlapped. So we seem diametrically opposed in our picks anyway. So I think it's okay.
we've been, I'd say, well, we kind of know what the other is going after, I think. So that probably helps a little bit. But here, let me get my windows straightened out here. So you're still liking the email, right? I mean, I'm trying to make it a little better each time.
I really so the fact that you added links to people's galleries that we're featuring, I think that's terrific. I think that's maybe my favorite part.
No, same here. I mean, I want to do more. If we could actually start linking to the pieces too, but I don't think I'll ever get that organized. But at least we're driving traffic around and and getting those out there, and they're getting a lot of clicks too. I checked the report I get back from MailChimp, so I see people are clicking on the CAF galleries. They're doing exactly what I hoped they would do. So
cool, good.
Yep. And Marcus says, just pick DC and you'll never overlap.
Marcus, I always pick DC. I love DC. DC is better than Marvel, and I'm saying it here now.
Oh man, you can't see, but you love the Thing.
I do, but I was a DC, like dyed in the wool DC fan the entire time I grew up. And it wasn't until I bet I was in my 20s really before I started like even really paying any attention to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, well, let's take a look at your 10 picks first. Let me try to get this screen a little better here because that's kind of small. There we go. That's not too bad. All right, so it's in Pixel Pusher's CAF gallery. And
yeah, Pixel Pusher has a definite Wildcats theme, which I like Wildcats. I mean, it's kind of like Jim Lee's, redheaded stepchild to some extent, but I was a big fan when it came out. I would, Jim Lee could have started drawing like Garfield, and I would have been like a huge Garfield fan. So Wildcats was A-okay in my book. Brett Booth obviously did his time at Homage Studios and was kind of a pupil of Jim Lee's, I guess, in some respect. And it certainly shows here. I think this is awesome. I love the way he put all the team members together. These big team shots are, always fun to look at and see how the artist like decides to lay everything out. Maul being in the background, being huge like that is a no-brainer. I just really think this is great. I'd love to see like Adelso Corona ink this or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always loved Brett Booth's work. Just so tight, and and I guess you're right. I mean, kind of a Jim Lee disciple style, but yeah, there's something about his work. It's kind of like Ian Churchill. I just have the same affinity for Ian's work as well. Just like those guys who came out of that period of comics that where I wasn't reading a ton, but I loved the art, and Brett's work was always stood out to me. So yeah,
and this was, I mean, by contrast, this is probably when I was reading not the most, but definitely on the upward trajectory of amount of comics that I was picking up, and it's really busy, and that's kind of always the critique of this stuff, but I think it's really cool.
Yeah, nope, I agree. There's an argument going on about Marvel and DC in the chat.
So we shouldn't have said, oh yeah, that's like Hulk versus Thing. I mean, what are you gonna? People are gonna argue,
right? Marcus
Superman versus Thor.
You see that thing? Marcus said Thing is just a rock encrusted Superman.
Thank you, Marcus. That's maybe the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Oh man! All right, this is in Kevin Sharp's CAF gallery, Gene Ha piece, and it's in his commissions gallery. So this was a commission from Comic Con Revolution, Ontario, Canada, from May. Oh, just recently. Very cool.
So I picked this because specifically because it is a convention, a con commission. Gene Ha does tremendous con commissions. I have a thing in my CAF gallery from Gene Ha from a long time ago in Chicago that's done also with marker. And if you have the chance, if you have the chance to commission him and you have the chance to watch him draw it, do it, because it's one of those situations where, you know, you start with a blank piece of paper and he starts laying things down. And you can watch the whole thing take shape, and it's kind of miraculous in a way, like with the layers of the marker strokes, how this whole thing comes together, and like, you know, where he chooses to make a mark and where he doesn't, you know, is really strategic and cool. And you know, even this being in color, I think this is just like a really cool rendition of Thanos, and a unique kind of look and feel with the media and obviously Gene's style.
No, I've always liked Gene's work, and you know, it's nice to know that we're getting art at cons and getting those posted again. That's very nice. But yeah, I've actually never. I don't think I've ever seen Gene at a show before for some reason. But
he's always in Chicago, and that's, you know, really the only shows I ever go to are the two in Chicago. So he's a stalwart at those.
That is probably why I haven't been to Chicago in 15 years. Probably it feels like it's been a long, long time. But yeah, very, very nice. And congrats to Kevin for that pickup. Hey, thing art. Who would have thought?
Hey, right?
Gary Frank. All right.
Yeah. So, you know, Gary Frank's always a favorite. I picked this because I had never seen this before.
Yeah.
I think I was in the group of people who weren't willing to get over the fact that Dale Keown had left Hulk. So I, you know, unfortunately didn't give Gary Frank too much of a chance, but and this actually isn't the thing. It's like some, I guess, 3D like illusion of the thing, but I don't know, cool image of the thing. And, you know, I guess my way, in some small way, of saying I was wrong about Gary Frank.
Yeah, head too small, says Scott Wingo. Man. But you know, I don't know. I've always liked Gary Frank. Very, you know, his artwork. He does phenomenal work. But it's too bad. I didn't see the 3D thing going on there. So that's all right though. It's still the thing.
Yeah. And Scott, yes, head too small, but fists so big. Like with the thing, you got to balance it. Like the fists have to be bigger than his head.
Yes, exactly. And this was in Ted Latner's collection. Congrats, Ted. Another great pickup, always. Let's see. Oh, an Epting. Oh, I set aside an Epting, guys. I forgot about that one.
He's so high on my list.
I didn't. It's want me to tell you what it's from?
Yeah.
It's
obviously.
I didn't even show it to Mike because I'm like, oh, he's gonna want too much for it. But I'll have to figure out how to talk him down. It's from Winter Soldier. I think maybe issue 4 or 5, and it's Winter Soldier fighting Dr. Doom. Oh. And it's got great panels with Doom on it.
Don't show it to me until you post it on CAF.
All right, because oh my gosh, I mean, I think that was the only piece I saw in there, and I was like, oh my god, look at that, you know. At any rate,
that's awesome. I have bought a piece of Epting art, but I actually gave it to my brother for Christmas because he's a humongous Captain America fan. So, and doesn't he has kids, so he's not into collecting art like he once was, but. I try to pick stuff up for him for holidays. So yeah, awesome Epting page. It's got the, you know, the flying car, some nice, you know, like Cap in action type stuff, and just, you know, Epting doing what he does best. He had such an amazing run on this book, you know, and in my mind is still one of the Captain America artists of all time.
No, I agree. Yeah, this is really, really nice. Jason says where was it? He's I'm gonna start collecting thing art, so Chris picks them.
Jason, the last time I picked one of your pieces, you weren't even in the audience, so sorry, buddy.
Oh my gosh, Heroes is going to be so much fun. Let's see. But yeah, no, this is a great, really, really nice piece. And yeah, I think everybody's gonna, if you like Epting and Geist together, then I
Yeah.
should pick that piece up tomorrow because it was really, really. I was like, holy mackerel, look at that thing. Because I was looking at Anthony's site, for the cat pieces that he has on there, and I just I hadn't really found one that I was what I wanted, and of course I end up not finding it. It doesn't have Cap on it, but I'll take Winter Soldier and Doctor Doom.
Well, man, that entire like Brubaker run was a murderer's row of these guys. I mean, it was Epting and Geis and Lark and Perkins. I mean, just all amazing artists on that run.
I can also mention I saw Lark Gotham Central pages. I mean, I wasn't really familiar with the stories, but I saw about
DC.
It was right, but I saw about six of those at Mike's house. So I'm just throwing it out there. Anybody wants me to look for as I think of it, what stuff I saw yesterday. But no, this is awesome. And let's see, is it? All right, David Kwok. Not familiar with their CAF gallery, but been on CAF for wow, 10 years. Was their anniversary last month. So
very cool.
Yeah, then they have their own domain name. I'll have to check out what David does. All right, so let's see. Next up, a Legion of Superheroes page or variant cover. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I love the Legion. I love Jimmy Chung. That's all I needed to really say about this one. These costume redesigns that Ryan Sook did, I think, are so cool, so modern. So many of them are. When you're talking about the Legion, you're often talking about costume designs, and sometimes they're controversial costume designs. Like, Cockrum designed some really crazy stuff for them back in the day that like had people freaking out. But, they're kind of known. I feel like in some ways they're known more for their look than almost anything else. And so to be able to take that on and completely redesign every Legionnaire and invent a couple of other Legionnaires, I mean, kudos to Ryan Sook for that. But then, Jim Chung, like, just banging out this incredible multi character piece, such a cool composition. You get Ultra Boy down there being featured. He's my favorite Legionnaire. So this was an easy pick for me to make.
Well, I couldn't name anybody on the page, but okay, I guess Superboy, right?
Superboy, yeah.
I can name Superboy, but yeah, I mean, this is just an amazing composition. I mean, visually, the perspective on this thing. I don't. Did they have the published piece with it? I'm just curious what.
I don't recall.
Let me see. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking it either had a story title or something there, but no, it's wow, the color piece isn't that bad either. But yeah, it's brilliant. I love Jim's work as well. I mean, his attention to detail. He's I mean, it's again really, 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 really nice. And yeah, I mean, looking at it even more, I'm just surprised at how many characters he's crammed into this thing. Beautiful. I did not see this piece when it was added to CAF.
Oh, cool. Even better to pick it then.
Yes, and it's from Aidan Lacey's CAF gallery, who has a lot of Legion art, as we all know. All right, that one's got my like on there. And let's see, Jason Tolliver's CAF gallery here. Greg Ticini.
So, he has a book with, I think it's Rick Remender, if I'm not mistaken, called Low, that is set, it's all underwater. So underwater civilization. Tokini is a guy that, we always talk about Stelfreeze as being really daring in his, color selections and palettes. And you're smiling because we're taking a lot of heat in the chat, aren't you?
Yes, well, I see Marcus telling me it's Lion-O or
right. Yeah, Jason's saying the Imperial Guard. He's going the right way for a fat lip.
I know. Oh man.
Anyway, yeah, so big fan of Tokini because he makes these like kind of pseudo insane, really edgy color choices, and in watercolor, that's harder than, in my opinion, that's the hardest media there is to work with. Having done some watercolor stuff myself back in the day, it's extremely unforgiving, and like these crazy color choices you make, you don't get to go back. It's really like in the moment, you absolutely have to have mastery of, not only the medium, but also, your color choices. So this is just a really impressive piece to me from a technical standpoint. And he's a terrific painter.
Well, I'm not very familiar with their work. So is this like a panel from Lowe? Is that?
I believe this is a commission of these,
Oh, it's a
of these
commission.
characters. Yeah, I
Okay.
think.
Let me see what. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, okay. There's no description, but it's listed as a commission. Wow, but it is beautiful.
Tocchini took a list a few months ago, and I'm assuming that this is from that list. I was very tempted to be on it, but I have a Tocchini piece already, so I have to focus on what I don't have.
Yeah. Well, Nick is congratulating you on this wonderful pick, and this is in the collection of Jason Tolliver. Yeah, no, that's really, really great. I'm impressed. And another one I didn't see when it went on CAF. So what do we got? Oh, Carl Choi, very good. And
so Carl Choi is out buying entire issues of Doctor Strange these days, and Lord love him. I mean, that's incredible. I just really like, Lee Garbett, I think I'm not going to say underrated. I mean, I think he's right where he needs to be as far as like, people's respect for him and his craft and everything. I get a little like Stuart Immonen from this in some ways, which I don't hate by any means. I think that he's a great artist. This is a book that clearly suits him. He's banging it out on this. Jason says he bought the whole series. Yeesh.
Man.
Like, remember when Carl was on Collector Conversations and he's just one of the boys, and now he's out buying series.
Well, he's matured.
Yeah. Anyway, the money panel though is here at the bottom. I mean, you get these adventures. So
no, it's amazing. Gosh, I mean, the inking is just beautiful on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. Well, congrats to Carl. I mean,
yeah,
if you can, you might as well. But that's a great Doctor Strange in that first panel too.
Mm-hmm.
So wow. Carl. All right. Let's see. Got my like on that one, and like you said, it's a complete Death of Doctor Strange issue 2.
Now, Larry says that's not the only series he's bought. Yikes.
Wow. Oh man,
I need a different hobby, I guess.
Yeah, or a different job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, I think everybody remembers I was always kind of down on people buying complete issues back when I started the show, and I've totally changed my perspective on the people who do it. It makes, initially I was like, but it keeps the art out of everybody's hands, right? When those things happen, but now I think it's such a thing that people love to have complete issues that it doesn't even faze me anymore. But I just remember really being very anti complete issue buys early in the CAF updates and the shows that we did because of that.
I kind of am too. I mean, in the respect that, like, you know what, it's your money. If you work it out with the dealer or the artist or whatever, like, more power to you. I'm not saying that, like, people need to be able to buy what they want, consume what they want, do what they want. I'm a firm believer in that. Mm-hmm. I do agree that, like, sometimes you feel cheated, as a fellow collector, that, like, you can't get something from that issue. I'm over it, basically. Like, it's a thing. It's always been a thing on some level. It's just, I think it's gaining in popularity in some respects.
Definitely.
If you can do it, do it. You're a baller. Bravo. This, I think, is from an entire issue purchase, this piece right now. If I'm not mistaken, I think our friend McSpidey fan owns this entire issue. So, good for him.
Yeah.
However, Scott, I desperately wanted this DPS when I saw it on Justin Mason's Instagram, because I am a huge Misfits fan. And so when I saw Taskmaster with the Devil Lock, God, I really wanted this DPS, but I didn't want the whole issue. So, Wingo clearly wanted it more than I did. So yeah, this is a DPS from Spider-Punk, which is just recently came out. I think it's on issue 2 or 3 maybe now. and a newer artist, Justin Mason. I think this is his first solo title, if I'm not mistaken, his first, I guess marquee title.
Mhm.
And he's from an alternate multiverse, or pocket of the multiverse where that's all punk themed, and so the Taskmaster here crosses over with Jerry or Doyle, or probably Jerry from the Misfits, with the double lock. And I can't get enough of this. I love it.
Yeah. Scott asked us if we've seen Marcus's comment on it. I don't believe that I did.
So Marcus actually did a one of his patented song parodies to an absolutely excellent Misfits song.
Oh my goodness.
London Dungeon, if I remember right. Yeah.
I believe so. I could click on the swell, but I'll do that after the show.
Yeah.
Just to see what see it. Yeah. But Marcus, you are just ripping it up on CAF these days, my friend.
Red Bullet Comics, your old band opened for the Misfits. Is this the Glenn Danzig Misfits or the like fake Misfits that came after? I need to know. Hopefully he'll reply.
It is a clean comment from Marcus. Taskmaster making corpses, Punk Spidey living dead. They had to double up, put us in their Bill Lash hell. Oh, Mason, your brush is clean now. Can't have no swirly heads. All the hobby browns are clean, boy. All the thanks for large ink. Well, I don't want to be here in your Bill Lash dungeon. I just want to be there when Chris fights ML. Ain't no mystery why I'm in misery and hell. Here's hoping you're swell. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I didn't even notice my name and Chris's name in there. Thanks, Marcus. You wrote another masterpiece.
As advertised.
Oh boy.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't know anything about the Misfits, Glenn Danzig, fellow original art collector and San Diego Comic-Con mainstay for many years. The Misfits was his first band when he was just a teenager, and apparently took place in the town where JD grew up. So we have a lot of ties to Glenn and the Misfits in this chat.
Very, very cool. Well, congrats to you, Mr. Wingo, on that one. All right. Next up is a piece in Grant Riddle's collection by Dustin Weaver.
Yeah, Dustin Weaver, I think, is falling into that category of like, I'll probably always pick Dustin Weaver art if somebody posts it. I just love his stuff so much. You see it so infrequently. The silly thing is I love, you probably are really into that last panel, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah.
But honestly, that the second the Avengers panel is amazing.
Yeah, so good.
Holy
This is how goofy I am. I guess the second panel with the Eternals, my favorite image on this whole thing is the Deviant on the far right side, because it's it's actually got like a Kirby feel to it a little bit. So in spite of being an intensely, modern artist, in basically every sense of the word, he still brings that Kirby sensibility to that guy's face.
Yeah. No, this is a phenomenal page. I mean, I love it. I really do. And oh wow, Scott Wingo, Marcus's comment for the win.
Whoa!
I think now with Nick's super chats and Scott's super chat, I think we can buy a round at that.
I think so.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. We appreciate that, and we all appreciate Marcus. He is a wordsmith like no other.
Does this mean Marcus is technically a professional songwriter now?
If he's not, he should be.
I mean, he kind of just got paid for his lyrics, right?
He did. Oh man. Well, thank you very much, Scott. But man, what a night. So so this is a great piece. I love it. And I understand why you like Dustin's work. I do as well. So Grant, nice pickup. And let's see, final piece here from you, Chris. A Brian Hitch, Batman versus Man-Bat.
This thing is crazy. The more I looked at it, the more I liked it, and I pored over this for quite a while. That cathedral, or that Gothic steeple in the background, is
Mhm.
just incredible. The way he posed the two, the two figures on the page is really, Neil Adams certainly on the Man Bat aspect, but so Brian Hitch on the Batman portion. This, quality wise is Hitch at his absolute best, I think, and it's a commission. So, if you've been in the Brian Hitch commission market and you've been hesitant, I would say look at this thing, because this is amazing.
Dang. See, I'll purchase directly from the artist. So, all right.
Yeah,
And a collection
and
of
he inked it
AK.
himself, which I think is so, as far as I know, is pretty unusual for Brian. I think we're used to seeing him inked by, Farmer, or
Mhm.
whatever. But if this is how he would ink a book, I mean, man, let him ink his own books.
Yeah, Rich says it's got a Nolan quality. Yeah,
Definitely
I could.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's elements for sure.
Wow. But yeah, Brian's been doing great work. Yeah, definitely some brushwork in there. But yeah, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And
I'm a sucker for Man Bat too. I don't know why. I do know why. It was like one of the first comics I read was an old reprint of a Neil Adams Man Bat Batman issue. So always liked Man Bat.
well, great pick again, and
You?
congratulations to AK for adding that to their CAF gallery. It's a doozy. All right, well, let's 10 great picks. So let me go ahead and fire up mine as well. Gotta get them from the other screen here. Get them over to here, and get the share screen going. What we got here? But yes, Marcus. We love you. All right, here we go. I'm gonna have to resize the screen a little bit too.
This is one that I
Excuse me.
would have picked if you had a double of something else. This was on my short list.
Yeah, this is of course in ML's CAF gallery, and it's by Jimbo Salgado, Galactus. I assume it was a commission. Yes, it was. Phenomenal piece. I mean, just look at the detail on that thing. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. But yeah, this was an easy pick for me. I mean, I love Galactus as a character, no matter what. But this commission is just off the rails crazy. I mean, look at all the detail in this thing. In the
Definitely.
machinery. I mean, it's Kirby machinery, but man, oh man, it's hyper detailed Kirby machinery. This
Yeah,
is
and it's absolutely psycho hatching on Galactus's armor.
right. I mean, the more I'm looking at it now, I mean, I like it even more. So, what was it? Did you mention the size on this one, Mikhail? Oh man, it's 17 by 22. Holy smokes! I mean, I need a picture of that one. Like, I mean, we wouldn't be able to see Mikhail if he was holding that up in front of him. Oh man!
I also like how it's kind of like it's almost like a sick joke how artists are able to like sneak Silver Surfer into these. It's like where's teeny tiny little Silver Surfer.
Right. But no, but yeah, great commission, Mikhail. Congratulations on this one. This I mean, I could look at this thing for a long time.
I always like when they,
Wow.
depict like Galactus's like world eating machinery, his like apparatus. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I just remember from Secret Wars always thinking that was so cool that he, his ship.
Oh yeah. Well, this is a great piece by Jimbo. This is wow. You always get great commissions, Mikhail. All right, got my like on that one. Now, this is a McSpidey fan. Again, I don't know if Marcus has replied to this one or not. I know many of us were lamenting the fact that McSpidey fan was buying X-Men art, but now he unearthed. I mean, I always liked this story from Uncanny X-Men from issue 149. Dave Cockrum, Rubenstein inks from 1981, 41 years old. And look at that. The Nightcrawler on a he's getting fastball special, and I'm sure he was not planning on that. But I mean, come on, you got Wolverine. Any page that has has Wolverine by Cockrum on it is a gift, right? I mean, because you don't see him too often, and definitely even in the second run of Cockrum's work on X-Men, that it just doesn't come up that often. You don't really. Well, the pages don't come up that often at all, but any pages with Wolverine, at least on the open market, they don't. Jason,
and he's slashing. I mean, it's
right, exactly. I mean, but man, what a beautiful page. Gosh, I'm jealous, very, very jealous. So, because you just don't see these. I mean, Cockrum's work is. I mean, you know, at least we see Byrne stuff pop up in the signature auctions and things a lot, right? But Cockrum's work just does not come up that often. And the last few pieces that were like on eBay, didn't have any main characters or anything. So you get Nightcrawler and Wolverine. Man, I am jealous. But yeah, I don't know if McSpidey fan has like satiated his desire for Uncanny X-Men. we can only hope. Now this next one, I mean, I picked it for a couple different reasons. A, Werner Roth. Remember, Werner Roth was my number 6 pick for X-Men artists. Yes. So we just don't see a lot of Werner Roth art ever, right? I mean, when I was over at Mike's yesterday, I even asked him, do you have any Werner Roth art from X-Men? And he had 2 pages, but I didn't like them, so I didn't pick them. They were twice up though, so pretty cool. But this one, it's in Duke Fleet's CAF gallery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. I was a little surprised too. Not what I was expecting to see.
The eclectic Duke Fleet.
Exactly. He is. I mean, I see. This is just a crazy story. How often did a Marvel character, grow to be like gigantic woman and wear a bikini that that they grew with her? I mean, I don't even know.
This is what you were missing.
Exactly. I mean, I should have been reading DC, but hey, I love the giant scan on this one. But in general, you know what? I just really like I like the page. I liked it as a DPS. It's see basically the title page splash. It's funky as a title page, right? Splash, the way they've just wedged the creators in a small corner on it. So it's just like
Vinny Coletta on inks too.
Yeah, so it's just not it's not normal in any way, but but just the layout was interesting, and again, this is my Werner Roth pick because I had never. I mean, there really isn't a lot of Werner Roth art on CAF to begin with, and to see this from let's see, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, issue 111 from 1971. 51 years old, just amazing.
Does he say where he got it?
And you know what? Maybe. And maybe maybe she didn't grow to giant size. I'm not even reading the chat, but maybe it's the Justice League that they shrunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one probably sold well. So it could be very true, Dan. Oh boy. Roth X-Men art. Yeah, it's out there. And it's affordable. And it's the cover image too. Look at that. The Green Arrow, what's he shooting at? I mean, see, this is the stuff. I look at that and I'm thinking, why am I going to read DC?
No, see, he's shooting the cables for them.
He's shooting the cables. See, it doesn't make any sense to me. I can't do it. I can't read it. I just can't do it. Why? All right.
Is Marcus making bondage comments?
I don't know. He probably is.
Probably is.
I'm not I haven't read the chat since I
haven't either.
But at any rate, very interesting page. I mean, it's like what is Black Canary? See, I knew that character. What is she doing with the dropper? In that second panel. It's just this is pure DC magic, everyone. So, but congrats to Duke Fleet on it. I like it, and I like having Werner Roth art on CAF, even if it's not,
Oh wow, we accidentally picked. Well, not accidentally. We both picked Gary Frank.
Yes. Well, I mean, I love Gary Frank, and I mean, and I agree with the comments that were in the chat earlier that I think Gary Frank has gotten better, with over time.
100%.
This piece I actually picked. I mean, I picked it because of the composition more than anything. I like the fact that their capes were kind of intertwined in the piece. and then just the slightly skewed perspective, and the Batman's on a gargoyle. But I really just liked the composition on the piece, I really enjoy Gary's work, but I just thought everything about the layout of this was just fantastic, and again, just lots of detail in the backgrounds and the characters, just like you'd want to get from a nice Gary Frank piece. I mean, even that Superman's cape. I mean, who does that? Nobody draws his cape with that much detail. But
that's an artist's thing. Like
Yeah.
when you do like folds in fabric and things like that, I mean, that's stuff that other people who are similarly trained, they look at and they go, ooh, nice cape, stuff like that. I really appreciate that kind of stuff. And like, you mentioned the level of detail, but I think the coolest thing about Gary Frank is that his drawing is so technical and it's so detailed that it gives this almost air of like pseudo realism to his art. And these they're superheroes, right? But there is like and especially the backgrounds. I mean, there's a real like sense of reality to this stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ruben wanted to know whose CAF gallery it was. I actually didn't check that before I did this. Oh, Robert Lee. Congratulations, Robert. Yeah, this is a keeper right here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow. All right, let's see what we got here. My next one. Oh, Paulo Rivera. This is in Pat L's CAF gallery, and I love Paulo's work. I love his painted work, especially, and this one's just great. I mean, you get the whole FF. The lighting's cool. You got Johnny welding.
Really cool stylistic choice to make all the hardware white.
Right. Like line art.
Graphic element. It's not really like, very cool.
So yeah, everything about this one's nice. How did thing gets relegated to holding the light?
It's probably really heavy.
Well, Sue seems to be she could have probably done it, I think, but no, great piece. I just Paulo he's just such a talent. Everybody loves his art. I mean, every time we have him on Comic Art Live, those little pieces sell for I mean, heck, he did really well. I think his little 4x6 painting sold for $1,000 a piece on average during the Comic Art Live show. But yeah, he's a super nice guy, super talented, and Pat L, you've got a nice addition to your CAF gallery with this one.
Yeah, it's terrific.
I even like you would think in a lot of ways like an artist would use like a different tone, right? Their costumes
not
are
do
all blue. Yeah, blue on blue, right? I mean, it just doesn't. You'd think he would have done something different, but I don't have a problem with it.
Well, there's really only two ranges of color going here.
Yeah.
You've got the orangey, like, so you've got like Sue's hair and the skin and the thing, and Johnny and his eyes and the welding, and Reed's skin. And I mean, that's kind of like the warm tones, and everything else is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is there's a lot to look at in this one. You're right. But yeah, fantastic. Congratulations to Pat on this one. I have a couple Paulo pieces in my CAF gallery, but not anything painted to this level. I've gotten a few con sketches from him and just the head sketches, but man, love that piece. All right, now Carlos Dermas. I mean, I'm not.
I think it's Diarmas.
Diarmas.
I think
that probably sounds better than what I just said. So,
I didn't see this. So this was the show thumbnail, right?
Yeah, it was. And this one was when was it added? I thought on the 31st. So early in the week, I had seen it and I kind of came back to it a couple different times. But so it's a commission. Let's see, what does Anim sketch say? Carlos's unique detailed line work has the look of a Dürer European woodcut. That's very true. Dürer is one of my favorite I guess printmakers. I've got several.
I have the Paradise Lost.
Yep.
That he did. It's gorgeous.
Let's see. And he says, I want to see his take on my favorite 90s storyline. He has impressively included every major character from the storyline, and it's glorious. And it really is. I wish the image was even bigger. I'd love to see all the details in this one.
This is so cool.
Oh, man. I mean, I love this from the moment I saw it. I mean, it's so amazing. I mean, he didn't say what the size on this thing was, but I can only imagine. Even if it's 11 by 17, it's impressive to have that much detail put into it. But it would be cool if this was.
Watch it's 9 by 12 or something.
If it's, that would be super impressive. But I mean, he totally captures that idea. Like this is it's like a woodcut, like a Dürer, like a religious painting from 400 years ago, or woodcut.
Yeah, it's got that like almost inscribed line quality or scraped line quality. Yeah, this is amazing. I love this.
Yeah, this is one I'd love to see this thing in person. I mean, just look at in the bottom there. It's almost like a sea of planets.
And which lends to that Albrecht Dürer comment, right?
It does. Gosh, see, the more I look at it, the more I love it. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it's got almost like a religious quality to it.
Right. But it's like for all the wrong reasons, right? It's glorifying,
yeah, Marcus, like Bosch.
Yeah, there you go. That too. Man, it's just a brilliant piece.
We're leveling up tonight, Bill. We're talking fine art.
We are. Well, we went to art school. It's like we got to pull that out every now and again. I don't even. No, I actually packed my Dürer books away for the move.
Mine's like 20 feet that way.
Well, it just makes me want to go back and look at some of that stuff. But a fantastic piece. I don't know who Adam Sketch is, but congratulations for adding this piece to your CAF gallery. I loved it from the moment I saw it. I'm going to love it forever.
I'm making a note right now because I'm seeing if Carlos de Armas is taking commissions when we're
yeah, I mean, after you see that, it's like I don't care what it could be, a single figure commission, right? And I would be thrilled with what I'm sure I'll be thrilled with how it turns out. Mike Mignola, there's not enough color Mike Mignola pieces out there, and this one was just such a delicate piece. And I don't think I've picked anything from Mike in at least 3 weeks. I mean, come on. So I went ahead and picked this one. It's because to me, it's like very anti his style, right? I mean, usually everything, even the few pieces that I've seen painted, the blacks are typically really heavy. This one is just very, very muted, very delicate. Even the groundwork beneath them, all of that is just so soft and just interesting. So I picked this piece just because it was kind of not the normal Mike Mignola artwork that I'm used to picking and that I'm used to seeing. So
it's a little, I mean, to me, it's a little bit almost like a children's book illustration.
Sure. You could see Hobbes standing right next to him, right?
Yeah, like tonally, it's very like, you said muted. I think that's a great way to put it. But it's almost monochromatic too. The chroma on everything is basically the same level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nope. But very nice. And who got this one? Oh, RS88, of course. Okay. Nope. Great piece there. Let's see. We got 3 more pieces to go. Well, we just had Jim Afood on last week, and I had such fun talking with him. I was like, well, I was actually looking for a piece by him to feature, and Rick W. came through with this piece from 2018, just a Venom sketch cover piece, but I don't know. I love Jim's work. I had a lot of fun chatting with him. I know he had that really big art drop. What was that? On Monday or Tuesday. Yeah. I haven't gone. I didn't even go to look because I figured I couldn't afford stuff that was going to be in there, but I'm sure
it wasn't that bad. I finally got a chance to look at it today.
Did you? I'll have to check it out tomorrow then. But yeah, I love his stuff. And if you missed the conversation I had with him, it was just fun. It was fun chatting with the guy, and I'd never talked to him before, but I've always admired his work. I know a lot of people on CAF love his stuff too. So just beautiful piece, and I had to pick it just for that very reason.
He's an interesting dude, and he's clearly got a singular vision. So got to respect that.
Right, and he's doing his own thing. I mean, I like
exactly.
I like our creators who are willing to just take chances, right, and kind of work at their own pace. I think that's super admirable, and like Nick Patera with his recent crowdfunding thing. I mean, it's just cool watching people get to do what they want. It's like even they're doing what they want anyway, right? They're in comics to begin with, but when they're
Right.
telling their own stories and whatnot, that's even better. So
Yep.
yeah, Jim was great, and this is a nice piece to have on CAF. So let's see, two more. What did I do here? Did I screw that up? Man, I'm gonna have to go back and look. What was my ninth piece? How did I do that?
Is there a new piece in Jean Michel's gallery that
That's what I
you?
was just gonna check, because it was it was this one here. I must have you know what, when I was looking around for some things, I must have clicked on
Oh,
it.
wow,
But this is a Hulk Gray piece. Um,
cool.
I like Tim Sale's stuff a lot. I have not yet found a piece that I want to buy, right? And I like his work with Daredevil. I like his work with Hulk. I actually like, I even like his Spidey work. I actually saw a Tim Sale piece this weekend over at Mike's that I could end up in my collection one day. But this piece by Tim, just a great image of the Hulk. I like that leaping image. It's just so, it's like he doesn't weigh anything in that. It's just like so effort. And again, I wish this was a bigger scan, but just great. And I was again, I read Hulk Gray, actually. I love the story, and again, this is just a really, really nice image. That first one is so powerful, strong Hulk in that one, and then just light as a feather Hulk in the second one.
Yeah, I love the like explosive. Well, and I'm a sucker for anybody who does that like thick, Kirby monster Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Right, exactly. And you always, whenever Hulk is like leaping, he's always like leaping to find some peaceful place. And so
Mhm.
that just that last panel, just so I just enjoyed this piece because it's got angry Hulk. Hulk, to me, I don't remember this part in the story, but he's leaping to find his little peaceful place, and boom, he's found it right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the sale piece that I saw was from Spider-Man that I might pick up.
Mhm.
No Spidey on it, but it had Craven on it, and Craven
Ooh.
really, I think only in one panel, but Craven looked so darn cool in it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's
I like Craven. He's definitely my favorite Spider-Man villain, and
oh,
Eric Winger
same here.
gives me no end of crap about that.
Really.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's probably, well, yeah, I'd say he's probably my favorite. I mean, I've always enjoyed.
he's got
Craven.
it's the Zach Craven's Last Hunt, like that whole thing, because it's all about Mike Zach for me. So that's definitely why I like Craven so much.
Marcus says Hulk isn't even the strongest Avenger.
And it's not the thing. You got that right.
All right, well, keep hitting those likes. All, just like Nick said, the show is almost done. I've got one more piece of art to feature here, and this one was done, if I'm not mistaken, it was done at the Lake Como show. Yes, it was a pre-con commission. Mark Buckingham took a list through Brit Comics Art from my good friend Joseph Melchior, and I even thought about getting on the list. I figured I could have had Tatiana pick up a piece for me, and then I was like, I'm not going anything that Buckingham is gonna do there should stay with the people who can make it to the show. But this is just a fun commission from him. You always love, I mean, how often do you see like a full figure split Peter Parker,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
it's normally
image?
just the face.
So it throws me there. It makes me I find it really interesting from that. And then you get Green Goblin in the lens of Pete's camera there.
Mhm.
So just a really fun, I mean, piece.
Silver Agey.
Yeah, exactly. And color
Got the right
choices.
size eyes.
Right, exactly. You've nailed that as well. The eyes are not too big, not too small. But yeah, no, I really like this piece. I look at it and it's like I would love to own this piece. It's just really, really nice, and just another reason why people need to go to the Lake Como show if you can get it, because the collector to artist ratio is pretty good, and you got to save up your money a year in advance to go to that thing, though. But
or more.
Okay, or more. Yeah, that's a once every other show.
You better my thing about Como is with how much it costs you to get there. It's almost like you need that doubled to be able to spend on art to like tell yourself that like you did it right.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I never really even looked into the travel costs to go, but I'm sure it's not cheap to get
Right now, especially lower.
Oh my gosh.
It's yeah.
Well, I just bought my flight to San Diego. Holy moly!
I
It
don't
was
even want
almost
to know.
$1,200.
Yeah.
$1,200. Like, I looked around. It's like I think if I went out on Spirit and back on
And that's on
American,
Spirit?
I could have maybe gone for $900. So I just decided, screw it. I figured, if I went that route, one of those flights is going to get canceled or delayed, and the
Mhm.
connections one way or another. So I just said, I'm going straight United. I probably
Yeah.
paid, probably top dollar, but $1,200.
Yeah.
I mean, even at this point, I mean, it's still over a month out. I mean, I know the last time, it's been a while since I flew there, but shoot, it was only like, you know, 480, 550, maybe 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, that
I was gonna
totals.
go visit some friends in Tennessee in a couple months, and even that far in advance from Wisconsin to Tennessee was, I want to say it was $900.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy. I mean, if you're not flying to Vegas or Orlando,
Hmm.
you're out of luck. Yeah, because I'm flying to Heroes, and even that one, for me, that's probably like an hour, 10, 20-minute flight, and it was well, okay, compared to what you just said, it was affordable. It was like $550.
I
But
think that's basically what I paid, to $500 maybe.
okay, but that's like that's yesterday's 250 a couple of
I
years
know.
ago. So man, travel sucks.
Mm.
It's going to make everybody want to drive, but then look at the price of gas
Gas
now.
can't do that either.
Yeah, gas prices equal air prices. Yeah, that's what
Yep.
it feels like. But anyway, so great picks by both of us. I'd say we both did really, really well
Killed
again.
it.
Uh, and Mikhail, who's in California and in San Diego, says he can't get a cheap flight to San Francisco. Right. Well, it's a long flight for one, but still, I get it. It's terrible. It's
Yeah.
man, everybody's going to be staying home and not doing a lot of traveling. I think the rest of the summer, if they're smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not looking to this. It cost me almost $500 to drive it with the U-Haul to Florida. That's when I did it 2 months ago. Now, I
Wow.
mean, shoot, I bet you it's at least 650. I mean, ugh. Anyway, let's not talk about the economy. Everybody gets mad when we talk about inflation and stuff.
Ask Fish. They hate it.
Exactly. um, but Chris, so we only got one more of these before we get to actually meet in person, drink a beer together.
Hell
My
yeah.
my beer will not be a coffee flavored beer like I told you, but we'll work something out.
Several beers. We'll drink some IPAs. I'm looking forward to
Oh
it
my
too.
god, well, IPAs make me stupid. I just have to tell you in advance.
Same.
I gotta like pace myself leading up to going live for the CAF update. I'm sure we'll probably only, the CAF update. I bet you if it lasts 30 minutes, I'll be shocked. But
Yeah.
but for those of you who can't come to that, it'll at least be fun to get to see us. Maybe we can work it out where I can get on stage. It would be fun. Would be to actually have somebody else holding the camera, and we start the CAF update with me like doing something. I think that I'll have to talk with George about that. That'd be pretty epic, wouldn't
I'll be there. Let me know if you need
it?
any help. I'm here for you.
All right. Well, Jason says he's in charge, so I guess maybe I can work that out if he's actually running the party.
I'll pick
So
maybe I'll pick like top 10 beers at that bar.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Heritage might not want to sponsor the CAF update.
Probably not.
I'll have to
Probably not.
talk to him about that. Do you want me not to have your logo on the intro for that one? But yeah, because I won't even have time to pick artwork for them. I mean, it's really, we're just gonna, it'll just be the intro to the party, and then everybody will just have to wonder what happened. If you were, and we won't talk about it after it's all over.
That's important.
Yes. So all right, Chris. Well,
Unless I beat James at arm wrestling or Mikhail winds up in the hospital, in which case we'll talk about it forever.
oh, the stories that will be told after that night. Oh man. But Chris, fun as always, my friend.
Absolutely.
I love hanging out with you. So, well, one more week, and again, maybe I got to work it out. I haven't thrown the invite out, but anybody who wants to like sit in for Chris sometimes, we were always doing those first Thursdays in the month. So anybody who might want to do the first Thursday in July, just shoot me an email. I mean, we'd love to have another guest on here. Chris would like a night off every once in a while. So if you want to do it, hit me up at bill@comicartfans.com and we'll work it out.
Please do.
So yeah. All right, Chris, well, have a good night, and
You too, buddy.
I will
Thanks.
see you very soon.
Bye, guys.
All right. So fun show as always. And look at we're under 2.5 hours. So that's a good good time here for us to call it an evening. But yeah, Jason, if you can work that out, we will definitely. I'll be happy to. That'd be really funny to kick the CAF update off with me in front of the microphone. So we'll have to talk with George about that, and maybe we can work it out. The 9 p.m. Eastern start. I can. Yeah, that'll be fun. That would be really cool. But anyways, nice to see everybody as always. No, Marcus, I'm sorry there wasn't a giveaway tonight. I'll work on that. But again, good to have all of you here. And I have got tomorrow night off, but I hope everybody tunes in for the Howard Chaykin show on Saturday, the Linsner show on Sunday, and of course the amateur match between our resident Hulkster James Siegel fighting against Khalil to see who can sell the most comic art on Monday evening in our amateur dueling dealer match. Have a wonderful night. And again, I will see you on Saturday at 2 p.m. Adios.